Hi. All right,
we're live.
We are live on YouTube only because iHeartRadio is experiencing technical difficulties. I was just saying, Jim, off air, that in my 8 years working here, listen, there have been some adventures in radio over the last 8 years. You've been here longer, or parts of longer periods of time. But by and large, we always manage to get on the air. Do you think we'll ultimately get on the air here today? Because the show, I mean, it's only 2 o'clock. We're supposed to be on the air until 6 p.m. I have no idea what's going on. Do you think, what's your over-under on when the station is back on the air? It's not just our station, by the way. It's every iHeart station in San Diego, California, which is 8.
I think this hour. Now, is this like the uncut, off script, like? Well,
I just want to make sure we're not on the radio.
I know. So we will not be doing any...
I wouldn't curse.
Okay. I'm not going to do that.
Fletch, would you curse? Fletch says he wouldn't.
Fletch would not do that.
I wouldn't do it.
Well, if you're looking for John and Jim, we are, as you can see, like we're on YouTube right now. So
but you can literally see us on YouTube.
I know. You can literally see us.
So let's just do the show then. Do the show.
Do the show, dude.
We're going to do the show. There's a ton to get into. If we get on the radio, we're going to catch up with Kevin Acee at 4 p.m., and also one of the radio voices of the Milwaukee Brewers, a buddy of mine that went to Lower Merion with me, Josh Maurer. How about this? Me, I've said this like 100 times, and Josh has been with us. Me, Josh, and Kobe were all in high school at the same time.
Oh, must be nice.
But Kobe was 2 years older, and Josh is 1 year younger than me. Josh has since moved on to be a play-by-play voice of the Brewers. I have since moved on to work with you.
I was going to say,
as I always say,
like the trajectory of your career with the people that you went to high school with, ending up with me.
Right. Well, I'm trying to think. I mean, it's basically Kobe, and then there's a long, like,
yeah.
There's a drop off from Kobe,
True.
Probably to, with all due respect to Josh, probably to Josh Maurer, who does Brewers games. And then there's probably another drop until you get to like me. But it's a significant difference between me and Josh and Kobe. Yeah. Okay, let's start with the Padres because they're in Milwaukee. We're waiting for injury updates. Mike Schilt will speak with the media coming up within the hour. We'll share that audio with you once we get back on the radio. Brent just told me we hope to get on the radio.
Oh, we're on the radio?
We're not on the radio right now, are we?
Oh, we are on the radio right now.
Oh, we're on the radio. Good thing that we didn't do your little adventure of can we curse? Because we're only on YouTube.
Can we say whatever we want to say now?
We're on the radio. John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760. Do we have the SDFC tickets to give away today?
We do.
We're giving away SDFC tickets. We're giving away a 4-pack of tickets to the San Diego County Fair. So we're on the radio. We apologize for any technical issues we've had over the last 15 or 20 minutes. We have Josh Maurer, who is the radio voice of the Brewers, joining us at 3 p.m. We have Kevin Acee joining us from Milwaukee coming up at 4 p.m. We'll hear from Mike Schilt this afternoon as well, because we're waiting to hear updates on both Luis Arraez and Xander Bogaerts. Of course, we're always waiting for updates as well on Yu Darvish and Michael King. So a couple of disappointing days, as we talked about. A Brewers team that's won 9 of 10, that's been really good at home. 3-game series, you're not throwing Dylan Cease, you're not throwing Nick Pivetta. I think this is the stiffest test of the season to this point, arguably, for the San Diego Padres.
This is the stretch. Yeah, exactly. This is the stretch. And Luis Arraez, you saw this last night, that he said he is expected or he expects to play.
I did see that
today. Again,
I'm going to take him at his word because Arraez, I'll take him. I'll take him at his word.
I will too, but I also wouldn't be surprised if whenever we get this lineup, he's not in it.
Okay.
That's
fair.
It's the Padres, and injuries are just, this team and injuries is just a very weird combination.
Yeah, like oil and water. Is oil and water, they like go separate directions?
They don't mix well.
Exactly.
Xander Bogaerts probably won't be in the lineup today, dealing with his shoulder injury, but they still have to try to overcome all that.
Mm-hmm.
And no one's going to feel sorry for this team. You know, if you end up going and you lose 2 or 3 here in Milwaukee, and then you play bad against the Dodgers, like, I'm sorry, no one's going to feel bad for you. No one's going to sit here and use these injuries as an excuse to why this team is not playing good baseball. You have to overcome these injuries, especially for a team that's expected and has, goals and aspirations to make the postseason and compete for a World Series. There's no excuse here. I'm sorry, unless everybody's out, unless Machado and Tatis and Merrill and Cease and King, unless everybody is out and you're literally throwing a AAA team out there.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Then I understand, but you're not. You still have all-stars up and down this lineup. You still have a fantastic bullpen. So you got to go out there, compete, and get the job done. And I know that that's what Mike Schilt would say after every single game. Not going to alibi it. And that's what they're going to have to do this weekend. And hopefully playing against a pretty hot Milwaukee Brewers team will, I don't know, up their level of play here over the weekend. And hopefully, they put together 3 good games here in Milwaukee and see what happens.
How about this? I mean, the Padres are 35-26. The Brewers are 34-29, which means they're technically separated by 2 games in the standings. That's technically 2 games in the standings, which means there is a lot on the line this weekend. To your point on how hot Milwaukee is, they've won 9 of 10. Listen to this. The Brewers at home are 18-10. That's a winning percentage over 600. The Dodgers, when the Padres go there in over a week, are 23-11 at home. They still have to go to Arizona. Arizona has struggled here, come back to earth. They're just a 500 team. They're actually under 500 at home. But this is the stretch. Milwaukee, LA at home, Arizona on the road, Dodger Stadium for 4. This is the stretch. And you're going through it without Michael King and without you, Darvish. And we'll see on Xander Bogaerts and we'll see on Luis Arraez. And this team has been up and down, and they really have been, because since the 14-3 start, the Padres, let me do the math on it, are 2 games under 500 since the 14-3 start. By the way, did you realize since we're on the air, but we're having issues with our computers and our systems, we're just on the air.
Oh, we're just going to go.
We're going to do like a marathon. We can cover until we have we have next gen back. It's our systems behind the scenes. Brent just said we might be okay, so he'll let us know and we can take our first break of the day. But
we're good.
We're good.
Everything's fine. It took all of 10 minutes. Remember when you asked me?
I'm like, are we gonna be in the air today?
Well,
you know that feeling. See, you grew up in the West. I grew up in the East. Like it was an amazing feeling when it was a snow day.
If there was any type, we've had not snow days here, but if there's any type of like conflict or anything that causes you to like have to go home early.
Yeah, hopefully not war.
No, conflict. I meant like weather or war. That's the first thing you go to.
Conflict. I've never heard conflict.
That doesn't automatically scream war.
Conflict, Brent.
Conflict.
Where are you leaning here?
With Jim, you went to like the exact like opposite.
What did you think?
Conflict could be, I came into work today and they're out of trail mix, and you went, like instantly went to World War III.
Yeah, it could be anything, not like war.
Oh man,
conflict equals war.
This could be a show, dude.
By the way, here you go. There you go. Just put you in a different category over there. But what was I saying? The last time,
there's nothing better than when you have a 2-hour delay to go to school or school is canceled. The problem is since the pandemic, they still do school.
The last time,
just do it on the internet.
The last time that that's happened to like me was 2017, and that's when I was working at the Padres radio station and producing all the games and covering the team on a day-to-day basis. And it rained here in San Diego.
It was their last rain out.
And it was the rain out. And I was at that was like
that feeling.
Man, I'm like, shucks. Yeah. Have to go home. Oh man.
I remember that feeling in minor league baseball when you'd have the rain out. You wouldn't worry about what it meant on the other side. The players would never worry about the double headers or making up the games. They just wanted the night off. Everyone always wanted the rain out.
Oh my gosh.
And in the minors, without domes and playing mostly in the East, you're going to have 15 rainouts a year.
So we almost had it here at iHeart.
We almost had a rain out, dude.
But when, the system goes down for every studio and every station in the building,
they're going to try to get it back.
It's like
if it was just our station, we wouldn't be back until 2027.
Correct.
Since it was all the stations, it's out again, by the way. So we're staying on the air. We're staying on the air. I was just about to take a break.
Way to jinx it,
John.
It's
the conflict.
It's the World War
conflict we're dealing with. Okay, so here's what we're going to do, because Josh Maurer, radio voice of the Brewers, will join us at 3. Kevin AC, Padres Insider, will join us at 4.
Should we get paid extra today since we're like going long form segments here?
Yeah, ask for a gift card.
Never going to happen.
All right, so we can talk Padres. We'd love to hear from you, by the way. Our phone lines are open. You can be our ads. 877-767-4760. I would say be listening for an SDFC goal call for a chance to win those SDFC tickets, but you're not going to hear them currently. But be listening for that throughout the course of the day. We'll qualify listeners. We'll give away tickets coming up at 5:30. Also, we've got that 4-pack of tickets to the San Diego County Fair. In addition, last night, another epic Pacers game. I wouldn't say another epic. I mean, it was a great NBA Finals game. But if you have followed the Pacers this postseason, this is what they've done. They have had a flair for the true dramatic. Tyrese Halliburton again delivers for the Pacers. We said, how do they win the NBA Finals? They truly steal a game on the road that they have no business of winning. And guess what they did again? Like they did at MSG in game 1. They truly stole a game they had no business winning. Doesn't mean they're going to win the series. They're still an underdog in the series, but they got a much better shot based on how that game finished last night.
That's the blueprint in how to like stay in this series and give yourself a shot. You had to steal a game. That's exactly what we talked about yesterday.
To a T.
You had to be trailing by, 10 to 15 points late in that game and end up having some crazy comeback and end up winning.
It was 15 in the fourth
15,
quarter.
Yeah. It was 15. And that's exactly what happened. Now, I did not expect that in game 1. I kind of expected that maybe game 2 or 5, right? Like maybe, right? I did not expect that in game 1. I thought as soon as the Thunder went up by 15, I'm like, okay, this one's over. I had the game on still. I watched the whole thing.
We were texting back and forth. You're like, this is a fake comeback.
But
don't lose hope.
Felt that it was just like, going to be over.
You have some ridiculous stats you're going to share, but let me give you one. And I'm going to do it on the other side. I'm going to do it on the other side because now we have heads. So we have ridiculous stats to share. We're going to hear from Mike Schild, Kevin Acee at 4. Josh Mauer calls Brewers games. Will join us at 3. Be listening for the goal call from SDFC for a chance to qualify to win tickets for tomorrow to see SDFC at Snapdragon Stadium. When you hear it, call 877-767-4760. Theoretically, a great show lined up. Don't go anywhere. It's John and Jim on San Diego Sports 760 and live on the iHeartRadio app. All right, our iHeartRadio Music Festival is back. You can win your way in before you can buy them. Live performances by Ed Sheeran, Mariah Carey, and more. September 19th and 20th, T-Mobile in Vegas, 2 nights, 1 stage. Listen to win tickets before you can buy them. 9 a.m., 1 p.m., and 5 p.m., including airfare and hotel in Vegas, plus $1,000. And our exclusive Capital One cardholder presale starts Wednesday, June 11th at 10 a.m. We'll get back to the NBA Finals briefly, but Corbin Burns has or will undergo Tommy John surgery if he hasn't undergone it already. The ace for the Diamondbacks, the Padres, will be there next week. Brutal news for the Diamondbacks. Corbin Burns, their ace, will undergo Tommy John surgery.
That's a crushing blow for the D-backs.
Huge loss.
Massive loss.
Yeah. $210 million deal.
Yeah, first year of that $210 million deal, 6-year contract. So he's out the rest of this year and most likely most of next year too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that is brutal. Now on the flip side, you never like to see injuries like that. But on the flip side, good news for the Padres.
Heading to Arizona. They still have to face them 13 times this year. They won't see him at all.
And if you're looking from a just strictly competitive standpoint here, and not the fact that some guys can be out for the year, which is obviously brutal, this helps the Padres. The Diamondbacks have one of their best players go down. You never want to see it, but it happens. And so the Padres, hopefully they take advantage of that. And the D-backs are still a good team. They still have a good offense.
They have struggled by and large. They're back to 500,
which
doesn't mean they're not good. The Padres are 500 last year right now too.
They could still be pesky. They're not the Rockies.
They could be a playoff team. They could.
And you haven't faced them this year. And the last handful of seasons, in Arizona, it's not easy to win there.
I'd probably call it a house of horrors.
Yeah, it's a good word to use. But man, that sucks for the D-backs.
6 years, $210 million. Tommy John surgery for Corbin Burns. We'll get back to the Padres in a moment. All right, here's my favorite stat because you're going to give me crazy stats. Here's something simple on the Pacers.
Okay.
This year in the postseason, when trailing by 15 in a game or more, they are 5-3. Jeez. That's an amazing stat. When trailing by 15 or more in any postseason game, they are 5-3 in those games. So truly never out of a game, including last night in that win over OKC. Now give me the ridiculous Pacer stats this postseason.
I have a bunch here. So I'll start with just game 1 was the Pacers' 5th comeback victory from a deficit of 15 or more points in the 2025 NBA playoffs, the most by a team in a single postseason since 1998. Tyrese Halliburton on go-ahead or shots to tie the game in the final 2 minutes of this season is 13 of 15 on quote-unquote super clutch shots this year. His efficiency rating is 107.1, which is far and away the best in all of the NBA.
Like all of the NBA this year or in the history of the NBA?
All of the NBA this season. Okay. It's just like this season. Tyrese Halliburton's the only player with 3 go-ahead shots in the final 5 seconds in a single postseason. He's got more of those in the 2025 postseason than Kobe Bryant had in his entire career.
We had the conversation yesterday. Who's the clutcher player, Halliburton or SGA? And it comes down to SGA missing a shot, Halliburton making the shot, Rick Carlisle not calling the timeout, which is brilliant in retrospect. And Halliburton, by the way, who didn't force anything. He didn't do that step-back 3 he loves. He stepped inside the line, drilled that like 19-footer. It was unbelievable.
There have been over 25,000 NBA games played in the last 20 seasons, regular and playoffs. Last night was the first time over that span that the road team won despite leading for less than a second all game.
Wow.
They led for 0.3 seconds.
That's an amazing stat.
That is incredible. And then finally, just like odds.
Yeah.
Because we love odds. The Pacers had a 1 in 75 million chance of winning these 4 absurd comeback games here. The Pacers' lowest win probability in all 4 games. Last night, they had a 3% chance to beat the Thunder. Game 1 versus the Knicks, 0.3%. Game 2 versus the Cavs, 2.1%. And in Game 5 versus the Bucks, 0.7%. and they won all 4 of those games. A 1 in 75 million chance.
I just think when something like that happens, I don't care how good Oklahoma City is, or I don't care how much of a favorite they remain. I just think there's something in the water when it comes to the Pacers.
Well, what you have now is you now have like intrigue because the Thunder, tell me if I'm wrong. I think they were the second most favored team in a final series in the last like 25 years.
I think we did read that yesterday.
Like they're a minus 700 favorite.
Pacers plus 500. Yep.
That was insane. So now for everybody, if the Thunder win last night by 15 or 20 points, which they were well on their way to doing, are people going to run to their televisions on Sunday to watch game 2 of the finals if they think that the Pacers have no shot?
Right. That's a good point. I think they will now. Here's my question. Are we going to look back on this and be like, well, the Sixers beat the Lakers in game 1 in 01, but the Lakers were historically good. That was their only postseason loss, and the Sixers had no shot in the next 4 games? Or are we going to talk about this like the greatest postseason by any team ever, what the Pacers have done in terms of the drama and the odds of them doing this? Is that what's going to happen? I don't know if there's an in-between. Like, is this going to go 7 with the OKC winning? Or is it going to go 6 or 7 with Indiana winning? Or is OKC going to steamroll their way over the next 4 games and win in 5?
I don't think I'm anywhere close to trying to compare the 2001
Sixers,
Lakers to the 2025 OKC Thunder.
I bet if we looked at the overall record in the regular season or like margins, they would be. Again, they didn't have Kobe and Shaq. I mean, this team doesn't have Kobe and Shaq.
That's just, slow down a little bit on the greatness of the OKC Thunder, okay? They haven't won anything.
Well, they have to still win. Lakers that year won 56 games.
And Lakers were coming off the title, correct?
In 2000, yeah.
Okay. So
I know. I'm saying what's going to play out. Is it going to be more like the 01 Lakers, which dropped game 1 and then steamrolled their way to the next 4 games? Or are we going to say that this isn't a historic OKC team and Indiana's going to pull the upset?
Well, going into game 2, you kind of feel like the Thunder are going to just blow out the Pacers there.
I think
because the Pacers got their split at worst in OKC. I just slow down on the Thunder, right? I want this to be a good series. I really do. I think the Thunder they're obviously a really good team. All their metrics show it. They're just so blah to me. I don't know. They just don't do it for me, even though the numbers are there. It's like, how can you just discredit the numbers, Jim? Okay, well, I mean, I watched the games. I watched the game last night, and I don't know. There's just something about them that just doesn't click right with me.
I hear you. We'll see. I'm with you. I don't know. I'm rooting for the Pacers because Kristen grew up a Pacers fan, but I don't know. I hope the Pacers win this series. All right, more in the NBA Finals on the other side, plus back to the Padres and the Brewers as well. Josh Maurer, Brewers play-by-play at 3. Kevin Acee, our Padres insider, at 4. Be listening for that goal call. When you hear it, call 877-767-4760 for a chance to qualify to win STFC tickets for tomorrow night. This is John and Jim. Stay with us.
All right, this update's brought to you by Staples. Padres and Brewers start a 3-game series tonight in Milwaukee. 5:10 first pitch. Randy Vasquez on the mound for the Padres. In the NBA Finals, last night, Game 1, Tyrese Halliburton hit a game winner with 0.3 seconds left on the clock. The Thunder now trail the Pacers 1-0 in the series. And tomorrow, SDFC takes on Copa America at Snapdragon Stadium. The only way you can listen to that game is right here on San Diego Sports 760. This update's been brought to you by Staples.
All right, John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760. Kevin Acey at 4. Josh Maurer, radio voice for the Brewers at 3. Listen for that goal call. And when you hear it, call 877-767-4760 for a chance to qualify to win 2 free SDFC tickets for tomorrow night at Snapdragon Stadium. I wanted to mention this to you. The question that Dennis Lin posed today in The Athletic: could Manny Machado be the last player ever to record 3,000 hits? I know that sounds crazy.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds utterly insane. The question I just posed that Dennis posed: could Manny Machado be the last player to reach 3,000 hits? Why, though, is it not as crazy as you think? Well, there's 2 reasons. Batting averages for major leaguers have fallen every year for 25 years, including each of the last 6 seasons. The league averages under 250 for a 6th consecutive year. And then secondly, nobody plays 162 games anymore. So as players play fewer games, it's going to be harder to attain 3,000. Plus the fact that batting averages only drop as opposed to go up, at least in recent history, it's harder to record as many hits. You look at the active players at 2,000 hits, Jim, it's a crazy list. Freddie Freeman is 35. He has 2,300 hits. Jose Altuve is 35. He hasn't reached 2,300 hits. Andrew McCutchen is 38. He's at 2,198. Paul Goldschmidt doesn't have 2,200 hits. He's 37. And then there's Manny, who's 32 and about to pass 2,000 hits. So what Manny's doing is becoming like almost as rare as anything in baseball. To record 3,000 hits in the 2020s and beyond is going to be really, really uncommon. I don't know if he's truly the last player ever. I'd be shocked if he was, but he's going to be among a dying breed potentially if he's able to finish this off over the next handful of years.
Just looking up here. So Luis Arraez, he's not yet at 1,000 hits. No shot. Yeah. He's 28 years old. He's got 909 hits.
Don't you think no shot?
I mean, he would need to do what? 200 plus hits for like 10 years straight. Average that. That's not happening. He's only had 200 hits. He's had 200 hits twice in his career. 2023 and 2024.
And you said he's 28?
He's 28. Yeah. I mean, probably
outside shot. Oh, you're saying Manny probably could be a last, or
Manny could probably be the last to have 3,000 hits.
Isn't that
but again,
crazy?
Like the sport's going to go on forever.
Yeah, so that's why you can't say never.
maybe in the next like 20 years,
offense is better than.
There will be another with 3,000 hits. I think there are some stats that we'll never see again, like a 300-game winner in baseball
right.
for a pitcher.
30 wins in a season.
Yeah, but I'm looking like overall career, right? Yep. 300 wins for a pitcher, that's not going to happen,
right?
Because pitchers just they don't have the opportunity to get many wins. I mean, now you look in a season, 13 wins for a pitcher in a regular season is like viewed as good,
right?
Back in the day, it was like 20, 23, 24, like not anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Complete games in a season, that will never be touched ever again. I don't know what the record is, but it will never be touched.
Right.
There's just certain things that like Ripken's consecutive game streak that will never be touched ever again.
Mm-hmm.
Not even close.
No one will even get within like 2,000 games of
56 game hit streak.
Never.
No. Home runs 73, like probably not. Just because we're not in that steroid era, and steroids are they're heavily regulated. So yeah, I think 3,000 hits you're going to see again, but it's not going to be like for a while.
Yeah, I mean, it goes back to this general idea that we're watching one of the best players in the history of his position in Manny Machado. I don't know if we sleep better at night because of that. Ultimately, I think most Padres fans just want to see them win a World Series. And I think they'd like to see Manny Machado help lead them to a World Series. I think he has helped lead them into postseasons. I think he's been a part of one of the better generations in the history of the San Diego Padres, but it's all going to be about the postseason for Manny Machado. He'll be celebrated regardless. Tony, of course, is among the most celebrated players in the history of Major League Baseball. He's going to be celebrated regardless of whether he brings a World Series here, because his numbers here are going to be ridiculous, Manny Machado's.
Yeah.
But to truly etch your name, I mean, again, there's no way you're touching Tony in this town. I think most would say that's not possible. But to get anywhere close to Tony Gwynn with any player on the Padres now or in the future, you're going to have to win a title. To even be in a realm where you could be in a stratosphere with Tony Gwynn. So for me, the only way you can get in that category, if you're Manny Machado, is you got to win a World Series in San Diego.
Yep, that's the only way. And that's the only way to even get like close.
Yeah,
you're still
doesn't
not,
mean it equals.
Yeah, you're still not passing Tony.
Yeah.
But the first team to win a World Series in this town, that superstar on that team, or the obviously the World Series MVP for the, like, whoever's the guy that comes through and leads the team or has that big clutch hit, and if it is Manny Machado, right, then yeah, that's going to vault him. That's going to just skyrocket him to untouchable legend status in this town, where there's not a bad word to say about him, like, as a baseball player, if he does that. But right now, yeah, he's had fantastic regular seasons, but in the postseason, he has gotten it done.
No doubt. By the way, there are some good news, or there is good news here for Padres fans. Both Luis Arraez and Xander Bogaerts are in the starting lineup tonight for the Padres in Milwaukee. So both Arraez and Bogaerts are in the starting lineup tonight for the Padres. We'll hear from Mike Schill at some point in the 3 o'clock hour.
That's very good news. Very good news on Luis Arraez. Because leaving a game and you grab your leg or your knee, you immediately think worst case scenario. You're like, oh, there's a hammy. That's 3-4 weeks. Xander, who the hell knows? He's just probably going to have to suck it up. And 75% Xander, it's not good.
No, we need 125.
We need
125% Xander.
Yeah, maybe more than that. Yeah. Like 150% Xander Bogaerts for him to be like anything. So he's just gutting it out. But again, it's probably better than any alternative, I guess.
I mean, yes, absolutely. I think.
I mean, Jose Iglesias, I think, might be a better alternative, or might just do the exact same thing as Xander Bogaerts with better defense.
Probably true.
But then it makes your bench thin, and then you're without a player, and so you'd rather have him be healthy than not, just so you don't have to worry about being a man down.
We'll share the entire lineup with you on the other side. Randy Vasquez on the mound for the Padres tonight in Milwaukee. Josh Mauer, radio voice of the Brewers, will join us at 3. Kevin Acee at 4, and be listening for that goal call. And when you hear it, call 877-767-4760 for a chance to qualify to win 2 free SDFC tickets for tomorrow night at Snapdragon Stadium. This is John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760, and live on the iHeartRadio app. Jim's trying to scare me. By the way,
so easy though.
We are on the iHeartRadio app.
We are.
Yes, that is.
I think we are
a developing story. John and Jim can be heard on the iHeartRadio app. We're on San Diego Sports 760 from 2 to 6. Put us in your presets. Put San Diego Sports 760 in your presets. Listen live weekdays from 2 to 6. Put John and Jim in your presets. Listen back to any hour or interview on the show. Josh Mauer at 3, radio announcer for the Brewers. Kevin Acee at 4, Padres insider for San Diego Sports 760. So I've been drinking a lot of Diet Coke for the better part of 2 years, I would say. It was since the Aztecs 2023 tournament run. That's when I found out Diet Coke was highly addictive and incredibly good. To me.
To you.
Okay.
To you.
So I've only increased my usage rate. Okay?
It's more than me with Coke. Like every day you're drinking a Diet Coke in here. When's the last time you see me drink a Coke in here?
I am 4 weekdays a week.
4 or 5? You're about 5, buddy.
Well, when it runs out, I won't drink it.
So, but it's every day.
Okay, fine. 5. So I have 5 Diet Cokes a week.
Yeah.
For let's say the last 4 months.
Here comes a kidney stone.
And they say I'm going to get a kidney stone because of that. Is that accurate? It's like cane sugar. There's no cane sugar. This is all like bad ingredients.
I know. The bad ingredients just build up. And
there's no sugar in Diet Coke.
Thank you.
And then boom, kidney stone. Right?
There's no sugar.
Just right in your
You
right
got a kidney
bladder.
stone. You weren't drinking. What were you drinking?
I was drinking Coke.
Well, you know what? This isn't Coke. Diet.
Diet Coke. Okay.
Can we talk about what you did before the show or not?
Oh, we can. I mean, I mentioned it yesterday on the show, so
Yeah, nice way to end the show.
I know.
Or it was like heading it. How did you mention it?
I said,
like, speaking of
I go
the store
because today's National Donut Day,
right?
And Come and Go has like a donut special. I don't even know if there's a Come and Go in San Diego. Probably not.
There's no Come and Go in San Diego, dude.
And so with it being National Donut Day, they were giving away like these free donuts or whatever. And I said, speaking of, I'm going to a fertility specialist today or tomorrow,
which is unbelievable.
I said that yesterday.
Right. Well, hold on. Let me just see the nearest Come and Go.
I went to one today.
I need to hear. I don't even know where the nearest one is. Okay, so you went to a fertility specialist?
Yes, John.
For what reason? Fertility?
For fertility, yeah.
To get his eyes examined, John. What the hell do you think he went there for?
Like, so you want to talk about
Big
Martin
Brewers
Maldonado?
Fan. So wait, what goes on? Because I've never done this, nor have most of our listeners.
Oh, you want me to explain this on the radio?
Yeah, give me the details.
Oh,
but I mean, what are we trying to ascertain? What are we trying to figure out here?
All right, scientifically speaking,
yeah,
it's to examine my sperm count to make sure that it's healthy for when me and Aaron
would like to have children,
are trying to get pregnant.
Well, why wouldn't it be healthy?
Some guys, I don't know. You don't know.
Okay, so you don't, but there's not a reason to believe it's not a healthy number.
As of right now, no.
So we're trying to find out if you're like Manny.
We're trying to see if like they swim well. I don't know.
Okay, so when do we find out the results?
Well,
isn't there another way to do this?
No, there's no other way to do this, John.
Yeah, there's another way to do this.
How? Oh,
like yeah, like you just try to get pregnant.
But there are sometimes complications, and you want to make sure that you're healthy and you make sure she's healthy.
Okay, that's fair.
And so, that's what I did today. And
how'd it go?
I was incredibly uncomfortable. Like you walk in and they just, the appointment's all set up. They take you to the back and
the back.
Like there's a back room. Like there's
like you have your own room.
I have my own room.
It's not communal.
No, it's right in the lobby.
I'm not there with other dudes. Like, hey, how you doing, bro? We borrow that magazine we got.
Man, that blown lead. Terrible.
Speaking of blown.
What?
And leads.
Dude.
But anyway.
Oh, yeah. Good segue.
Yeah.
So everything went well?
Everything went well.
I mean, when do we get the results?
I don't know.
We share them with the listeners?
You want me to share them on the air?
Yeah. Are you going to share? Like, are we going to use like a scout scale where like 80 is like Hall of Fame level player, 20 is like replacement level player, Are we going to share? Like, are you going to be? Where are you going to be on the scout scale? Are you going to be like an all-star?
I hope I'm an all-star.
Level?
I hope I'm an all-star.
The top of the list is like Antonio Cromartie.
Yeah. Steven asked, "Did they check your exit velocity?" No, they do not, Steven.
Here is my advice as someone with a child.
Okay.
I'm just going to share some advice.
Yeah.
See, I'm being completely serious. Well, here's what I would suggest.
Just do it.
Correct. And see what happens. Now, if what happens is she doesn't get pregnant, because obviously that's the goal, because you want to have children, well, then you can, talk to some people.
But here's the thing. If we just did it,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
And she doesn't get pregnant.
Right. Then you're wasting time.
Yeah, because then might be something wrong.
Yep.
So it's like, if we'd have to go see what was wrong,
Sure.
and then we might be wasting months of trying, and that would be that'd be stupid.
A waste of time.
Yeah. Why not just figure everything out now, so you're not wasting any time?
Well, what if we? You're expecting it's John and Jim.
What's my
I feel
launch
like I'm
angle?
fully vested. Watch it. What if you don't get the results you're looking for at the fertility clinic?
Well, then that's not good,
Can they
John.
increase your velocity or whatever?
There are ways to increase my velocity. There's ways to increase those things.
Just take like a one a day.
Like upping testosterone, or upping whatever levels, or I don't know.
You're gonna end up suspended from John and Jim.
Yeah, I tested positive for HGH. My HGH levels are off the charts.
All right. Well, I was curious. I think our listeners were curious.
Oh, you were curious, yeah.
I mean,
you have to
wasn't like.
Do you want me to explain the process to you?
Well, no, I think I kind of understand the process.
But there was a process to it. It wasn't just go in, do your thing, and leave.
What else was included other than that?
Some paperwork.
Well, there was paperwork, and
Right.
then I had to scrub myself down.
What?
Because you have to be completely clean. Because they don't want any contaminants or bacteria or anything in.
So can't you just take a shower
in the sample?
So you have to take a shower beforehand?
Yeah, this is too much information, probably.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, but anyway.
Well, let us know how it turns out. I guess we'll know how it turns out if Erin is pregnant at some point, right?
Yeah, we'll figure that. We'll find out all together. We'll find out together as a family.
I'm looking forward to that. All right. No easy segue from that. Josh Maurer will join us coming up on the other side. He's a radio announcer for the Brewers, who are scorching hot. They weren't even playing well until a week or two ago. And now they're the hottest team in baseball. And they've won 9 of 10, and they're 18-10 at home. And their starting pitcher tonight has been outstanding. And their starter tomorrow has been terrific. Their pitcher tonight, I think Chad Patrick, has a sub-3 ERA. Their starter tomorrow has a sub-3 ERA. This is a difficult series for the Padres. It really is. I would love to see them play well in this series. Now, I think most people would love to see them play well in the Dodger series coming up. But this might be an indicator for the Dodger series. Are you capable of playing really well against a really good team on the road? And we'll find out beginning tonight in Milwaukee, game 1 of this 3-game series against the Brewers.
Do you think Xander and Luis Arraez in the lineup is any sign of we gotta go?
I think it may be, Jim, specifically the way the San Francisco series ended. I think if you sweep San Francisco and win 4 straight, you probably give someone a day. Everything's perfect at that point. If you had swept San Francisco, which was on the table when we were talking a couple of nights ago and they led 5-0, a sweep was on the table. But the way the last 2 days turned out, they were disappointing. And now it's all right, let's go. We know what's on the line here. We got the Dodgers 7 times coming up. We can't afford another, poor series here. We need to, if we're healthy, let's put our A team out there. And that's what they're doing here. You need Luis Arraez in your lineup. That makes your lineup complete.
If you won 3 or 4 against the Giants, you think those guys are resting today?
Maybe one of them. Maybe Xander.
Oh, Xander can rest. He can rest.
Right. I think you need Luis Arraez to make your lineup tick.
Yeah, I agree. When Luis Arraez was out of the lineup, they looked really bad, and he came back, and they went on, a 6-game winning streak.
They did exactly. Then
he's scuffling a bit, so it's not like he's red hot. But you're right. When he's in there, everything looks right, at least at the top of your lineup with Tatis, Arraez, Manny, and Merrill, and then Gavin Sheets now. That's a lot of lefties, by the way. Your first 5 hitters. So, yeah, I think Xander Bogaerts, you can live with him missing a couple days. Luis Arraez, you can live with him missing a couple days as long as you're playing well. And it's like these are just rest days, or like he's banged up a little bit, just needs a day to rest and whatnot. But after a disappointing split, and now you're going on the road to a place where a team playing a team that's 9-1 in their last 10, and then you're facing the Dodgers coming up here after that. I do feel like it's a little bit of a go. Like, okay, we got to go.
We got to go.
We got to go.
You want to hear something shocking? Luis Arraez in his last 13 games has hit 204.
Yeah, that's got to change.
That to me now, he's been better here recently. There were 4 consecutive games in there without a hit, but he's hit 204 in his last 13 games. All right, we're going to head out to Milwaukee on the other side. Josh Mauer, longtime friend, now radio voice of the Brewers, will join us on the other side. Kevin Acee will join us from Milwaukee coming up at 4. We'll hear from Mike Schilt around 3:30 this afternoon. Be listening for that goal call. When you hear it, call 877-767-4760 for a chance to qualify to win 2 free tickets to see SDFC. Hour 2, John and Jim next.
Chucky Irving, Chucky Lozano went chuk, boom!
This update is brought to you by Anderson Plumbing, Heating, and Air. Padres and Brewers start a 3-game series tonight in Milwaukee. 5:10 first pitch. Randy Vasquez on the mound tonight for the Pods. The NBA Finals got underway last night, and Tyrese Halliburton did it again, hitting a game-winning shot with 0.3 seconds left on the clock. Pacers lead the Thunder 1-0. Game 2 will be on Sunday in Oklahoma City. And tomorrow night, San Diego FC takes on Copa America at Snapdragon Stadium. You can listen to that match right here on San Diego Sports 760. Anderson's drain stoppage is guaranteed. Solve issues for $63 or it's on the house. Nobody wows clients like they do. Anderson Plumbing, Heating, and Air has been privileged to serve over 500,000 residential clients for more than 45 years. Visit AndersonPHA.com.
Previously on John and Jim.
I hope offensively they start looking like the team that we saw to start the year. That's what I hope for. Want to see more consistency, 10-plus hits in a game, 5 runs. I mean, they're going to a building where you got to be able to score runs.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough series this weekend.
Yeah, it's not a tough series.
Tough series.
Now, time for John and Jim.
All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? Hour 2, John and Jim. We're getting ready for Padres in Milwaukee to take on the red-hot Brewers, and we've got Josh Mauer, radio announcer with the Brewers, with us right now on John and Jim. I think I've said this probably 8 times before with Josh. I've said it with other people as well. How do me and Josh go to high school together? He ends up calling Major League Baseball games. I end up working with Jim.
With me,
and
yes.
It's not to discredit you, Jim.
It is.
It's more to discredit me, but also you.
Mostly me.
Josh, how are you, man? Good to catch up. How's the season going so far?
Not only did we go to high school together, we were in the same Latin class, sitting next to each other for how many years? It had to be 2, right, John?
Do you even know what Latin, Jim? Do you know what Latin is?
It's a language, John.
Yeah, but it's not even spoken anymore.
Wow.
Yeah,
I did not know that.
Why did we take Latin? Was it for the SATs?
I knew you were going to ask me that, and for the life of me, I can't remember what was the driving force behind that decision. No, maybe.
It's a possibility. All right, let's switch gears from Lower Merion Latin.
The random classes of high school.
Yeah, let's switch from LM Latin to Brewers baseball. I mean, Padres Brewers kicking off a series tonight in Milwaukee. Josh, what has gotten into Milwaukee? 9-1 in their last 10 games, from under 500 overall to well over 500. What's the reason for this great play over the last 10 games?
Well, I think the biggest thing, John, is they've gotten back to their identity over the last couple of weeks, which is pitching, defense, base running, timely hitting, if not always great hitting. And that's been a recipe that's allowed them to win the division the previous 2 years. And I think they've kind of found that again with somewhat of a different cast of characters. And then some of the same guys that the names that have finally started to hit again. Christian Yelich's bat has come to life. He's on a 10-game hitting streak. It's no surprise that their success corresponds with Yelich all of a sudden swinging the bat the way that he's capable of doing it. But I honestly think that the biggest thing is just getting back to the fundamentals of the way that the Brewers have won games for these last few years. They catch the ball better than any team in baseball, and they've been doing that recently. And they're pitching it from guys that you don't know the names. They're not household throughout the sport, but they figure out a way to make them very effective major league pitchers to get out at important times in games. They just had a 5-1 road trip through Philadelphia and Cincinnati. And that would have seemed like it would have been impossible if you had gone back just 3 weeks ago. So they have turned a corner, and they're excited to be home. This will be their longest homestand of the season starting tonight.
How much credit does Pat Murphy get? I mean, you lose Willie Adames, you lose Devin Williams. If I'm not mistaken, not really many big signings in the offseason. Kind of viewed maybe as a down year. Again, still a long way to go, but Pat Murphy, manager of the year last year, is just how good has he done so far with this club?
He's done a remarkable job. You look at the roster that the Brewers have and you compare it to some of the other teams, even in their own division, and you would say, well, how is this team in contention? But they are. And I think a lot of that starts with Murph. It's the tone that he sets, the way that he interacts with the players. And he's demanding, but he's also an understanding guy. He realizes that a lot is being asked of young players that have not had the track record of success in the major leagues that that you would expect from a team that's trying to win a third straight division championship. So he's had patience, and I think that patience recently has started to pay off. He's a unique guy, and I would imagine most people listening to this, if you didn't remember his time in San Diego for that very brief interim period, if you didn't know Murph, you don't know very much about him. But he is a unique baseball character. He's a lifer who's been a college coach for decades and a very successful one. Made that rare transition from being a college coach to a minor league manager to a major league bench coach to all of a sudden being a major league manager in his 60s, and it's worked out. It's a very unique and successful story, and it's continuing to be written here in a very positive manner.
Josh Mauer with us right now, calls games for the Brewers on radio. Padres Brewers coming up in about 2 hours. Tell us about Chad Patrick, the right-handed starter for the Brewers, who's put together a terrific year, sub-3 ERA. He's only been in the big leagues for what, a couple of years at this point? But he's really, this is his first year. This is his first year. He was like the last player on the roster, wasn't he, to break camp? And now he's had a great year.
That's exactly right. He was not supposed to make the team. There were injuries on the last day of spring training. He had his car packed to go back to AAA, which is Nashville for the Brewers. So he was about to drive, and they called him and said, "Hey, turn around. You're actually coming with us to New York. You're going to make the opening day roster."
Wow.
He's another one of those Brewers pitching factory success stories where you have a guy that other organizations didn't really think of as a prospect, but the Brewers identified something in him, and his biggest tool has been a cutter. It's a great pitch. He throws it almost 50% of the time, and it's worked against very good major league hitters. But to say that they would have thought that he'd have this level of success, I think they'd be kidding themselves. He's a top 3 rookie of the year candidate in the National League at the moment. If they voted today, he might win. And he wasn't even supposed to make the roster. So, very cool story. You'll see a lot of cutters and four-seamers and sinkers. He throws almost all fastballs, and that's worked. He's been very remarkably consistent for a guy who's young.
One of the rookies that was talked about a lot last year, Jackson Chourio. How has his second year gone so far with the Brewers? Obviously, with Jackson Merrill here in San Diego, kind of mirroring each other. But Jackson Chourio, a big-time, rookie last year. Well, how's his second season going so far for the Brewers?
Yeah, Jim, we got 2 of the Jackson 3, right?
Yeah,
in this series. Everybody's excited to watch them play head-to-head against each other. I'm impressed by Chourio, maybe more than others are. It's hard. The expectations were raised so high after the way he finished last season, and he was only 20 years old. He's a little bit younger than Jackson Merrill, not much, but he's 21 still. And Jackson finished as one of the best players in baseball the last few months of last season. That did not necessarily carry over to the first 2 months of this year, but he was better in April and May this year than he was in April and May as a rookie. And he's starting to heat up again. In the last couple of weeks, he's hitting over 300 with power. I think Jackson Chourio is talented enough to be one of the 5 best players in baseball in the not too distant future. I'm very bullish on this kid. And they play him every day. He bats at the top of the order. He plays center field now. There's been some injury issues that have moved him into the middle of the outfield, just like Jackson Merrill. So I think there are a lot of comparisons you can make between the two of them. But the sky's the limit for him. And you're going to catch him, at least at the moment, on a pretty good hot stretch. So we'll see how he does against the Padres pitching. The Padres have a penchant for being able to figure out guys like that. So I think this will be a pretty good test for him this weekend.
Josh Mauer is with us. He calls games for the Brewers on the radio. Padres Brewers coming up in 2 hours. Speaking of the Padres, Josh, what do you make of a team that's 9 games over 500, but they're without Michael King and Yu Darvish, and they've had some other injuries as well that they've had to deal with? I mean, you look at their rotation this weekend, for example, it's Randy Vasquez and Stephen Kolek, and I believe maybe Ryan Berger. What do you make of where the Padres are? They've been really good, but they've dealt with injuries as well.
Yeah, I think it's funny you bring up the probables for this series, because looking at them, I said, wait a minute, this is like a contender for the World Series.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody knows who these 3 people that are going to start the game are outside of San Diego.
Yep.
I think there's a lot of respect for the organization, the way that they've operated the last few years. And the start turned heads. Now, the last month, obviously, it's been a sub 500 run, but I'm sure the injuries have a lot to do with it. And in talking to the Padres people here this afternoon, I'm not telling you guys anything you don't know. They need to hit more. The offense is not what it's capable of being. So I think they're an incredibly dangerous team. I don't know if they can beat the Dodgers and win a division, but I certainly think it's a playoff team, and I think it's one that could make some noise in the postseason. It's very similar to last year, and I don't know that it's worth getting caught up in a sub 500 month long stretch that they're currently on, because over the long haul, I'll take that roster and I'll say this is one that I'd want to go to battle with in a late season or a postseason kind of game.
Yeah, I mean, they've been through it, like you said. I mean, they've been in postseasons the last couple of years, trying to get back again in 2025, and they're beginning the most difficult stretch of their season. Milwaukee tonight, LA next week, on the road at LA about a week from then. So it's a challenging stretch for the Padres beginning tonight in Milwaukee. Josh, I always appreciate your time, man. We'll catch up again off air at some point soon, but hope you're doing well, all right? Thanks for doing it.
Yeah, absolutely, John and Jim. Thanks for having me on, guys.
All right, great stuff. Josh Maurer, long time, actually not that long. Third-year radio announcer with the Milwaukee Brewers.
Long-time friend.
Long time. I've known him since he was probably 12, and he actually worked in the minor leagues longer than I did. I did 15 seasons. He probably did like 17.
Well, I'm glad that he finally made it.
He maybe did like 18.
When will you make it?
Stay tuned. We have ratings for the NBA Finals, and they are
out.
We'll share them with you on the other side. Also, be listening for that SDFC goal call. And when you hear it, call 877-767-4760. It's SDFC Club America tomorrow night. We're qualifying listeners every hour. This hour, 4 o'clock hour, 5 o'clock hour. We'll announce a winner coming up at 5:30. We have a 4-pack of tickets to the San Diego County Fair to give away. Kevin Acey will join us at 4 p.m. We'll share NBA Game 1 Finals ratings on the other side. John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760, live on the iHeartRadio app. All right. AM radio keeps vital voices accessible. Congress can secure its future, but we need your help. Text AM to 52886 now to support keeping AM radio in cars. Tell your member of Congress to pass legislation now and keep AM radio in cars. Standard message and data rates apply. Kevin Acey will join us at 4, Jim.
Yay.
Looking forward to that.
Yes, I am, John.
So Kevin will join us from Milwaukee, where Josh Mauer was. Maybe I should introduce Josh to Kevin. They could talk.
They probably walked past each other in the
and they're
press
probably
box.
and they don't know who each other are.
They don't know that they are both on
John and
Jim today.
Exactly. So I should probably introduce them. They go out for a bite to eat.
You're not going to though.
Get some cheese. So what people do in Milwaukee,
cheese and
get
beer.
cheese.
Get cheese and beer.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I like
that.
that.
Do that. Kevin will join us coming up at 4. We'll hear from Mike Schilt, his pregame commentary with the media, hopefully at some point within the next 10 or 15 minutes. Be listening for that goal call. When you hear it, call 877-767-4760 for a chance to win SDFC tickets. Ratings are in for game 1.
What do you got?
Unsurprisingly, they're not good, even though it was a very good game. So imagine if this game was awful.
Was it a good game or was it a good final 4 minutes?
I agree with that. Good ending.
Yeah.
But it was never a complete and utter blowout the way OKC has been sometimes this season.
But it was like a 12 to 13 to 15.
Yeah. You never thought they were losing. I never thought they were losing. Nope. I watched the entire game. And you did too. So anyway, thrilling finish as we know with Halliburton. The game 1 viewership is in. It's 8.91 million per Sports Business Journal. There have only been 4 NBA finals ever that have averaged under 10 million viewers. 2 during the pandemic. So 20 and 21.
Makes sense.
And 2 during the Spurs Tim Duncan era.
Makes sense.
So those are your 4. Now this could do more than 10 million, but it's going to have to go 6-7 games. If this is 5 games, you're going to get 9 here, 10 there, 9 here, 11.
I think you're going to get an uptick for game 2 because
people
now there's intrigue.
Yeah.
Right. It's not just, oh, the Thunder are going to blow out the Pacers.
Yep. People
People are intrigued now. Can the Pacers pull this off? One of the biggest upsets on paper,
right,
for betting odds in NBA history. And it's also a Sunday, so
perfect Sunday night. Yeah, everyone's home.
There's nothing going on to counter it on Sunday, if I'm not mistaken. So
I think you're right.
I would bet that game 2 gets not like a big uptick, not like going from 8 to 16, not doubling, but like 8 to almost 10, maybe 10.
Yeah, I think it'll do 10.
I think it's going to do right under 10.
Okay, let me ask you this. If you could have one of these shots in your lifetime, which would you take? Okay. Halliburton in the ridiculous Bucks comeback where they were down how many points in the final minute?
A lot.
11. And he had a layup with 1 second left.
Yeah.
Would you take that? Would you take his offensive rebound off a missed free throw step back 3 against the Cavaliers?
Okay.
Would you take the choke sign off tying the game against the Knicks on the ball that bounced off the back of the rim and then went in 10 regulation? Or would you take last night in the NBA Finals?
Last night, no question.
Because it's the NBA Finals.
And it was a game winner. If the Knicks was a game, Knicks one was a game winner, I'd have to it would be between last night and that one. But there was still a chance that the Pacers could have lost that game. And then that shot and that celebration would have meant nothing.
Yep.
So with that being said, it's pretty easy for me. It's last night because that won you the game. You're in the NBA Finals. I think, Tyrese Halliburton already debuting his new shoe for game 1.
Is that the most amazing debut of a shoe?
The perfect time ever for a debut of a signature shoe for a signature brand to be game 1 of the NBA Finals. And oh, by the way, you hit the game winner in it as well.
Since April 29th, you and I have done basically nothing. You went to Hawaii. That was cool.
That was fun. Yeah.
That was great.
I did a lot.
That was amazing.
Yeah.
Truthfully, I haven't done anything.
You've done nothing.
Since April 29th, he's had the ridiculous comeback against the Bucks that he finished off. He's had the absurd finish against Cleveland. He's had that shot at MSG. He's had last night. He's done that in a month. He's done that 33 days or something, or 34 days. He is in the midst. Brian Windhorst said this yesterday, and it's not, who would disagree with it? It's like the most clutch postseason by a player in the history of the league, and I don't know what the second place would be.
I think it's LeBron, but not for an entire postseason. like over the course of like career, right? But this is the greatest clutch postseason performance that we've ever seen.
Will we say it if they lose the finals? If everything holds true, let's say he has even another amazing game, but they lose this finals 4-2.
Mm-hmm.
Will we say it's the most clutch postseason from a player?
We have to see how the rest of this finals plays out. If the Thunder go on to win 4 straight here in gentleman's sweep and just kind of, blow out the Pacers here, right? It's going to, the finals will be it won't be remembered at all for the Thunder winning. It'll be remembered for like Halliburton shot.
Yeah.
Like the thing with the ratings, right? We all knew they were going to suck because they're the two teams in the finals. It's not about market. It's about like who they have on these teams. I think the Pacers, if they went up against, I don't know, give me a
Golden State.
Yeah, Golden State. The ratings would be between 12 and 15, probably. Mm-hmm. Maybe a little more, maybe a little less. I don't know, but it'd be in the double digits for game one.
Same thing with the Lakers. If it was
Lakers,
LeBron
would be
and
15, about 15 to 20, maybe less. It won't be 20, but
15.
You get my point. Stars is what the NBA is built on. All right. And Shea, even though he's the MVP, he is not a transcendent superstar yet. Now, I don't know if he's going to get there. I really don't. I think the Thunder are just a very blah team. They're just so good, but they're just, to me, a very blah team. They don't do it for me. Tyrese Halliburton and the Pacers, what they've done, even though they're not in a big market, Pacers have a little bit of a brand.
They do it for me, the Pacers.
The Pacers do it for me.
The Pacers.
I do too. I think Tyrese Halliburton, his style of play, the obviously the shots he's made.
But also like Siakam is a really skilled, gifted offensive player. Nesmith has hit clutch shot after clutch shot. There's just something and I just like their DNA that they're like not out of games. What did Schultz say yesterday? Gritty, gritty, gritty.
Yeah.
That's the Pacers.
I know.
The Pacers are gritty, gritty, gritty.
Winners find solutions.
So I like, but hear me out for a second, because I agree with what you're saying. And that's why only 8 million people tuned in. But if these two teams, if you took the entire Oklahoma City team and called them the Warriors, put them in those uniforms, had them play in San Francisco, and if you took the entire Pacers team and put them in Celtics uniforms, and it was Warriors Celtics with those teams that we watched last night, that alone bumps the numbers. So,
well, you know why? It's because those two franchises,
they have the history now.
They're two franchises that they get shown more, they get promoted more. That like the Thunder were in the finals before.
Yep.
And they had Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook and James Harden. Now they had help because obviously they're playing the Miami Heat team with LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, and Chris Bosh, and LeBron's looking for his first NBA title. Yep. But you look at the Thunder, that they have history with KD and Westbrook, and they've been in
a while,
Western Conference Finals. And if you look at the numbers for the Western Conference Finals back before KD went to the Warriors, I'm sure the ratings were through the roof, just because the certain players. I think it's players over brand. And if like the Warriors were never a good brand, the Warriors were awful.
Steph and
they got Steph, and Steph vaulted them up to one of the best brands in the sport. And he's also taken that franchise. They were sold for $400 million. Now they're worth like $10 billion.
That's a high bar. But could Shea or Tyrese Halliburton do that for their respective franchise?
No. I just think that's it. I just think that's
a high bar.
I just don't see that happening.
I agree. Although I would say if Shea and the Thunder win it, they're once again favorites to win next year.
Yeah, they're going to.
So then all of a sudden you're looking at a team.
Even if they lose, they're the favorites.
Right. You're looking at a team now that could win 2 and 3 years. And now you start talking about some more rarefied air.
Well, if you win multiple titles here, we're going to be forced to talk about them and watch them, but it still won't take away from the fact that if they do win the next 2 titles, guess what? The ratings for the next 2 titles will be
down
super low. And side note, the presentation of last night's game by ESPN was an embarrassment, like an absolute abomination of a presentation for game 1 of the NBA Finals. on your flagship station, flagship crew, everything. The presentation for it was a joke. They should be embarrassed with that.
Yeah, we can get into that on the other side. Plus, we're going to hear from Mike Schilt when he speaks to the media, which he's doing at this hour. Plus, Kevin Acee will join us from Milwaukee at 4 p.m. Be listening for that goal call from SDFC. When you hear it, call 877-767-4760 for a chance to qualify to win 2 free tickets to see SDFC Club America tomorrow night at Snapdragon Stadium. We're here until 6. John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760, live on the iHeartRadio app.
All right, this update is brought to you by Angelo's Towing. Padres and Brewers start a 3-game series tonight in Milwaukee. 5:10 first pitch. Randy Vasquez on the mound for the Padres. NBA Finals Game 1 last night was a thriller. Tyrese Halliburton hit the game winner with 0.3 seconds left on the clock. Pacers take a 1-0 lead over the Thunder. Game 2 is Sunday at 5 p.m. in OKC. Stuck on the road, Angelo's Towing is here for you 24/7 with over 20 years of experience offering towing and roadside services. For friendly, fast service, call Angelo's Towing at 619-702-8888 or visit angelostowing.com.
All right, Kevin Acee will join us at 4 from Milwaukee. We'll hear from Mike Schilt coming up in Milwaukee. We'll speak with the media. Again, Xander Bogaerts and Luis Arraez back in the lineup for the Padres, trying to snap a mini 2-game slide tonight against a red-hot Brewers team that's won 9 of 10 coming in. So Kevin Acee again will join us at 4. Be listening for that goal call. When you hear it, call 877-767-4760 for your chance to win 2 free tickets to see SDFC tomorrow night. To further the conversation we were just having, I agree with you on the finals presentation in general. ESPN,
what was that?
ESPN in general, though, this postseason has left a ton to be desired, and it finally hit a crescendo, I would say, last night in general. You could go in a ton of different directions with it, truthfully, from halftime to pregame to postgame to on court. We talked about that even a little bit yesterday. The court just looks like a random January game. There's nothing unique to it. That's not an ESPN thing. That's more of an NBA thing, probably. But
no, it's an ESPN thing. It's
the fact
ABC
that the court
thing.
didn't have the logos on it.
Adam Silver took that away.
They took it away for the corporate sponsorships.
Yeah.
And
it's always about money.
YouTube TV was plastered everywhere, and not one place did you see the finals logo other than the tiny score bug.
Yeah, that to me, clean that up. You should know better than that. NBA, you gotta elevate this series. You really have to make this special. Mm-hmm. You can't just allow it to be, well, it's the NBA finals, therefore it's special. I mean, I'm watching the Thunder and the Pacers. You got to bring something. You got to bring a little more to the table.
You got to dress up this pig, right?
Yeah, you got to dress it up a little bit.
Now, again, the pig last night did some great stuff, but at the same time, you got to bring everybody in and get people talking. And when you get people talking, then they might check it out. But when the first thing they see on social media is not just randos on the internet, people that cover the sport, big names, in the sport, just ripping the broadcast and ripping the presentation of it. I mean, it was awful.
What was the cringiest part of it to you? The entire, from start to finish. I have a specific example. Do you have a moment in time? We probably are thinking the same thing.
It's when Richard Jefferson decided to come up with some stupid
you
one-liner.
Can't post a tour date line if you're Tyrese Halliburton. I think what he was trying to say was scoring 12 points or less, hey, coming 12-8 to the arena, because there's only 12 months in a calendar, so a tour date line, nobody's ever heard it. It makes no sense. Plus, you're going to call out Tyrese Halliburton in game one of the finals?
You're Richard Jefferson. Shut up.
Tyrese Halliburton is like a star of stars for the last 2 months. It's game one. The game wasn't even over. Give the guy a shot. Oh, by the way, he came up with an epic shot. Yeah, that was so cringy.
This is one of the biggest fumbles ever for Adam Silver. Now, it's one of many with Adam Silver of late, but the presentation of the NBA Finals last night was an absolute joke. They didn't do the national anthem. They didn't do the player introductions.
They didn't show it.
Yeah. They didn't have.
They did it.
They did it, but they didn't show it on television. And usually, for the NBA Finals, you make player announcements and player presentations a big thing. They used to have the NBA Finals trophy out with smoke and stuff.
Yeah, I need a 6'6" guard from Iowa State or whatever. I need it all.
And you had no signage on the court other than imposed graphics that television randomly shuffles through.
Right. They weren't actually there.
But when you show different angles, you don't see it.
Yeah, I hate that.
And this has been a thing the last couple of years. Now, they've had the finals logo superimposed on the court in other finals, but this to me screams the absolute worst presentation they've ever had, with ESPN and ABC having the finals forever, how long they had. And by the way, they have 11 more years of the finals.
I thought it changes though between these rights holders. It doesn't end up on NBC.
11 years.
They have it for 11 consecutive years.
It's a joke.
Yeah, I know. I feel like ESPN is kind of...
Well, they get what they deserve. They get what they deserve because they've done an awful job promoting other teams like the Thunder and the Pacers, right? They are riding the coattails of guys like LeBron and Curry until they're done. Rightfully so. I mean, that's they bring in the most money. They bring in the most viewership. So you're gonna promote those guys the hardest, right? But at the same time, you get what you deserve, Adam Silver. And this is what you got. You got what's going to be the lowest rated finals in NBA history. You have the worst, and I mean the worst, broadcasting crew that you could put together with Doris Burke and Richard Jefferson, along with the greatness of Mike Breen. You have the worst, and I mean the worst, pre and post game show that you could ask for. And the presentation of your finals suck.
Yeah,
great game though.
It was a good game.
Great 4 minutes.
It was a good game, but you're right. How do you bring people to the television Wasn't it Adam Silver that said, like, we want to get to a point where it's like the Super Bowl? That was laughable. That was laughable. You could never compare anything to the Super Bowl. I mean, if you want to tell me, hey, Lakers Celtics goes 7 and it's some epic series and that's a huge deal, I get it. But Thunder Pacers, I mean, you're not touching any Super Bowl. You could play 13 games in this series. And the one thing about the NFL that is different than Major League Baseball, the NBA, and the NHL is that markets don't matter in the NFL. And they do in every other sport. It is true that the Packers being in Wisconsin is not a factor. The Steelers being in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania is not a factor. We even joked about the idea of Jacksonville and Carolina playing at a Super Bowl. They still have massive numbers. So any Super Bowl reference from a commissioner, you got to be pretty careful making some type of Super Bowl reference if you're the commissioner of the NBA, because there's nothing that holds a candle to the Super Bowl in this country. You want to give me World Cup final worldwide? I'm all for it. I'm sure there's way more people watching the World Cup final. But in this country, you can't compare the Super Bowl to other American sporting events.
How do you not have special graphics made and the court with the, I mean, you dress up this stupid play-in tournament.
Yeah, what's that about? With the 30 different courts.
Yet you can't put the finals logo on the court for the NBA finals. you can't I thought everything last night was just really, really bad from ESPN. Thankfully it turned out to be a really good game at the end there, and they got a great finish. But even their post game, I mean, I love Scott Van Pelt, but guess what was on NBA TV? Shaq, Kenny, Isaiah Thomas. Yeah, I'm choosing them. Yeah. And when you're choosing the alternative, which was NBA TV over the flagship. And by the way, once the game was over on ABC, it went straight to local news.
I know.
Like there's nothing after.
That's crazy.
Nothing.
Now, I will say this. My favorite part of the game is obviously the final sequence, but the reason I found it really enjoyable is that oftentimes NBA games that are decided in buzzer beaters involve a team advancing the ball after a timeout into the front court to score. This is an NBA staple.
No timeout, just let him go.
The fact that we saw a full broken court scenario play out where Shea is able to do his thing. There's 20-something seconds left. They inbound. Shea takes a tough shot and misses. Then we see the action in real time at the other end and Halliburton do his thing, especially with all the talk about who's a more clutch player. I thought that was terrific because we've seen so many games. I don't have a problem with it. Everyone loves a team takes a timeout. There's still a game winner. You're going to celebrate that too. But the fact that you don't have the ball advanced and you have it play out that way, that to me was true drama and theater. We didn't have the 3-minute stoppage for a timeout and the ball advanced for the final shot.
It was exactly what you wanted. End of the game situation. It's a 1-point game, right? So it's not tied, but still, you have Shea. Here's your opportunity to not put away the Pacers, but give you a really good shot. If you made that 2-pointer there, forcing the Pacers to have to shoot a 3. He misses. Halliburton hits the game winner. It was just, I thought, you're right. I thought it was a perfect ending on the basketball court. I just was so annoyed with everything else around the game.
By the way, going back to think about the way the Aztec Final Four game ended.
Mm-hmm.
It was very
amazing. Very similar.
John L. Davis, tough contested shot, rebound, outlet.
Yeah.
And it kind of happened. I mean, Lamont, I don't know how far that shot was that Lamont hit. 16, 17 feet. I don't know how far that shot was.
I think.
But I mean, it was similar. Yeah. There were similarities in those two moments.
Yeah. But the Lamont one.
Truly at the buzzer.
At the buzzer, no time left.
Final Four, win or go home. This isn't win or go home.
No, but it's the NBA Finals.
It's the NBA Finals, but I mean, it's just different because there's something about the NCAA tournament where you lose, you lose.
Well, guess what? More people were watching Lamont's shot than they were watching Tyrese Halliburton's shot.
I think something like that. 15 to 20 million watched that.
Good job, Adam Silver. Pat yourself on the back for this one, my guy.
I think
you've done a great job.
I know. No, I'm with you.
Actually, you've done an awful job.
All right, we're going to turn our attention back to the Padres on the other side because Kevin Acee will join us coming up at 4 p.m. We also will hear from Mike Schilt as he is speaking with the media at this hour. We'll get some injury updates as the Padres get ready for the Brewers tonight, game 1 of a 3-game series. But Kevin will join us at 4. Be listening for that goal call. When you hear a call, 877 767-4760. We have 2 free tickets to give away to see SDFC against Club America tomorrow night at Snapdragon Stadium at 7 p.m. Tickets are available, by the way, at san diegofc.com/tickets. Don't go anywhere. This is John and Jim. Hey guys, it is John and Jim again for the all-new Jamul Casino Resort, the Players Place, and they've got the Players Party coming up next Saturday, June 14th. Kick off summer in style with their annual event. Enjoy $20 free play for everyone from 6 a.m. to midnight. Free food for everyone from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. in Jive Lounge. It's an event you're not going to want to miss. Join them and start summer off right.
And then next Sunday, John, it's Father's Day brunch at Prime Cut from 10:30 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. Show Dad just how much he means to you with the decadent brunch featuring lobster tails and hand-carved prime rib. Make his day extra special with a meal he'll love.
Also, Thursday, June 12th, 7 p.m., join him for Thursday drawings with a guaranteed $30,000 in cash prizes. Earn entries daily for your chance to win. Plus, stay for the excitement of Latin night afterward. That'll be Thursday, June 12th, 7 p.m. until midnight at the all-new Jamul Casino Resort, the Players Place. All right, John and Jim, Kevin AC at 4 p.m. Be listening for that goal call. When you hear it, call 877-767-4760. We'll get to the wrap in the 4 o'clock hour as well. Mike Schilt has spoken.
Oh, I love when Mike Schilt speaks.
Oh, he has spoken, all right.
Oh, he has spoken words, wise words.
Talk to the media. Padres and Brewers coming up at 5:10. Isn't that right? Is that what you've been saying?
5:10, John. Yeah.
So 5:10 Pacific, game 1 of a 3-game series. We have Mike Schilt. I think this starts with him talking about Manny Machado's brilliance.
It's going to go on for 20 minutes.
Now this is about 4 minutes from Mike Schilt, but I don't know if it's all on Machado, but Probably. Machado hits his 350th career home run yesterday. Here's Mike Schilt today.
Yeah, I mean, after the game last night, hard-fought game didn't come our way, so didn't get a chance to celebrate it, and I think it's something that's worth clearly mentioning. I mean, 350 is a big accomplishment. The accolades are there with the people that are in that category, especially the category of he's done it at the age he's done it at, and just really special. We watched we celebrated with him today earlier, and just want to congratulate him publicly.
It was interesting. I was going to ask him if he was feeling the moment as he was rounding the bases, then found out afterwards he wasn't even aware until he got into the dugout. Xander kind of reminded him, hey, big moment. Then he had a chance to reflect on it. It seemed meaningful to him as well.
Yeah, of course. I mean, again, he's in high cotton with where he's at, with the groups he's at, but he also knows he's still going.
Yeah. Well, that was his focus too. He said, I'm just more worried about playing the games and getting it done. The next milestone for him is 2,000 hits. He'll be only one of 12 players to have done that at age 32. But he seems to have the focus of knowing that his number one thing is winning games.
Yeah, he's got his head in really the right place, and very team first. How do we win, and how do I contribute to the winning? But that's the bottom line.
Luis Arraez and Xander Bogaerts, can you give us an update on how they're doing?
Yeah, so they're both in the lineup today. We could stretch him to place at first base. It makes sense. We got Sheetsy over there. He's starting to feel better himself. So Louis going to DH, and everybody feels medically him that he's ready to go. So he'll do that, and Bogey's back in there as well. So both encouraging signs.
Yeah. Any update on you at this point? What might be his next step?
Scheduled for a bullpen today. Haven't heard anything from Petco back yet, so we'll let you know.
Okay. Michael King, anything?
Not a whole lot. Michael's in a little bit of holding pattern, a little more of a discovery pattern, definitely a recovery pattern. It's one of these things that just you're not going to be able to do a whole lot until it starts to improve, and it's a slow and steady improvement at this point. So we're in a little bit of a holding pattern in the recovery, and then more of a discovery phase of being assertive about figuring out exactly what it is and the best way to treat it, because it's not something that is very common in our sport.
Is Brian Hoying still making progress?
He's doing really good. Ho's going to throw tomorrow. So Brian's in a good spot. Just saw him over, checked in on him. He came to San Francisco, but he's going to throw tomorrow, close to around 30 pitches, and go from there.
Randy Vasquez going for you today. He's done a really nice job of controlling the walk for his last 4 or 5 outings, which are this year than the previous ones, obviously. What's changed from your perspective? Is it more of a mindset, an approach, or what do you think turned that around?
I think it's probably a combination of things. When you start to get more time in this league and you get settled in more, particularly with a guy that's not like a big strikeout guy, more of a contact guy, you tend to, kind of feel your way through it a little bit. But now he knows he can get outs in the strike zone with multiple pitches, and now he's got confidence in that and knows where to get those outs as well, with Maldi helping him a little bit behind the plate. So I think it's a combination of things.
To be clear, is Michael not playing catch?
Michael played some catch a couple of days ago, and we'll continue to play light catch. But it's, we're, full disclosure, it's one of those like, yes, play catch. Rest. Yes, keep the arm moving. Rest. So we're navigating all of that, but he's moving it enough to see how it feels and appropriately test it based on the intensity level.
All right. So will we ever see Michael King?
Well,
they have no idea what he's dealing with.
They have no idea.
But he's able to play
which
catch.
Which is good news.
I play catch,
but
I'm not pitching in the big leagues either.
What about Ho?
I don't even know what to say.
Oh, man.
What about Brian Hoeing? Is he going to save this?
Ho. What are you doing, Schultz?
I don't know.
It's Schultz.
This is a series in which you're not going to see Michael King. He's out. You're not going to see Yu Darvish. He's out. You're not going to see Dylan Cease. He pitched yesterday. You're not going to see Nick Pivetta. He pitched 2 days ago. We haven't said that a lot over the last 2 years. You're not going to see Joe Musgrove, Tommy John. Like, think about that. None of those 5 pitchers that we've seen a lot of over the last few years are you going to see this weekend. Can they survive that? I mean, maybe, hopefully, they've proven people wrong against odds before. To win this series, to me, is really impressive if they can win this series.
So with Randy Vasquez, they talked about Randy Vasquez there, like the greatest pitcher of all time.
Right.
Let me just tell you something right now. Randy Vasquez is doing this completely with smoke and mirrors, and his 3.99 ERA, I don't know how he has a 3.99 ERA.
It's incredible he does.
His expected ERA, like what his ERA should be 5.8.
Wow.
So he has gotten lucky's an understatement.
Mhm.
Okay. He's got a 147 whip
Mhm.
this year. He doesn't strike out many guys.
No. Walks a lot of guys.
Now, again, are we going to sit here and be like, oh, well, then what he's done doesn't count? Like, no, what he's done counts, and what he's done has been, and getting it done the way he's gotten it done it's been admirable. Because they're not showing on the back of your baseball card your expected ERA. They're showing you what your ERA actually is, which is a 3.99, not a 5.80. But what that number tells you is that to expect him to keep this kind of, I guess, smoke and mirrors play up for the rest of the season is kind of wishful thinking, because all of his advanced stats are awful. Yet he's somehow getting this done, which tells me, which should tell everybody else, at some point, this might start shifting towards what his expected numbers are instead of what he's at right now.
So is it reminding you a little bit of Matt Waldron a year ago?
Yeah.
Where there was some good in there, but eventually it all runs out. Like it ultimately.
Well, you take it. I'm not saying you don't.
Where you're going to end up.
You're taking this, what he's giving you, right?
You will. Yeah. I mean, the way it ended with Waldron was there were like 3 or 4 just terrible outings in there, if you remember. I mean, there's just one after the next at the end, and that's what elevated his ERA. He ended up with a 4.91, but you just said Randy Vasquez is 3.99 and his expected ERA is high 5. So he could end up with a 4.91 ERA. The thing is, they have no options. Randy Vasquez has to throw every 5th or 6th day. So does Stephen Kolek. With Pivetta, it's Pivetta and Ceason. You got to fill 3 spots. You're not trying to fill 1 spot in your rotation right now. You're filling 3. Who thought Ryan Bergert would be in this rotation this year?
Not me.
Who thought Stephen Kolek would be in this rotation this year?
I kind of actually did.
Okay, that's true. Yeah,
I actually said Stephen Kolek should start the year in the rotation.
You're right. You did say that. I agree.
So
I agree.
I'll take credit for that one.
Yeah, you're right. And Vasquez was supposed to be in this rotation to start the year, and he has been.
Yeah, he won a spot.
Yep.
And he's still pitching in it, so he's doing something right. But they know. They see all the numbers. They know that what he's doing, they're getting very lucky with what he's doing.
Right.
And no one's going to complain about it until there's something to complain about when and if he eventually falls off, which it probably will happen. Like to expect him to have 28 starts this year and do this all to what he's doing now for the entire season. That's wishful thinking.
It's going to be really tough to do. Yeah, I agree with you. So we'll see. Again, this begins a 13-game stretch where it's Brewers, Dodgers, Diamondbacks, Dodgers. Those are the next 13. What are you laughing at?
So I got a text message from one of my buddies, Will.
Yeah.
He's watching us on YouTube. So Hi, Will.
What's up, Will?
Hi, Will. There you go. Man? If you want to watch us on YouTube, you can just search out John and Jim 760.
It's only available to people named Will.
Yes, only Will. That's it. Will Van Vleck. That's the only person that can watch us.
Okay.
But yeah, they're just a giant e-break there in the show.
I thought there was something maybe he was commenting on it.
No.
Okay,
just,
what's up, Will?
Thanks
for hanging out. Thanks for
Ho's gonna throw.
Ho's gonna throw.
All right, let's catch up with Kevin Acee with more on Michael King, on Bogaerts and Arraez, who are back from injury here tonight, and on the Padres trying to snap a mini 2-game slide tonight in Milwaukee, opening up a 3-game series at 5:10, just over an hour from now. We just heard from Mike Schilt. And again, Kevin Acee will join us on the other side. Be listening for that goal call. When you hear it, call 877-767-4760. We'll qualify someone to win 2 free tickets to see SDFC tomorrow night. We'll announce the winner of those tickets at 5:30. But Kevin Acee, our Padres insider, on the other side from Milwaukee. This is John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760, live on the iHeartRadio app.
Chucky Lozano went chuk, boom!
All right, this update is brought to you by Superstar Car Wash. We'll start with the Padres. They start a 3-game series in Milwaukee, 5:10 first pitch. Randy Vasquez on the mound for the Padres tonight. And last night, game 1 of the NBA Finals was a thriller. Tyrese Halliburton hit the game winner with 0.3 seconds left on the clock to take a 1-0 series lead there. Game 2, 5 p.m. on Sunday in Oklahoma City. If you know, you go at Superstar Car Wash. They're proud to have over 550,000 members. Be in the know and try what everyone loves today. Text Super CA to 27800 to get 50% off their best wash. Terms and conditions apply.
All right, hour 3, John and Jim. We head back to Milwaukee. Full disclosure, Kevin, we already talked to one of the Brewers radio voices, Josh Mauer. I went to high school with him. So I just wanted to let you know we've already spoken with someone from Milwaukee today. So thanks for hopping on.
Oh, that's big.
Yeah, it's big, right?
Big.
It's not every day you talk to 2 people from Milwaukee or in Milwaukee.
Yeah.
At least 2 people that, tell you they're from Milwauki.
Exactly. Yeah. 2 people in Milwaukee.
I shouldn't do that.
Neither of you are
It's
from.
underrated. Love Milwaukee.
Oh, do you?
I would love might be strong, but I do want to stress that it is underrated. It's a nice city with nice people.
What's your favorite part about Milwaukee?
Probably the ballpark, which might also then say but they have a nice river that goes through downtown, some bridges, so it's neat. But the view out of the ballpark, and tonight the roof is open, so the view out of the ballpark is very unique. Some sort of brewery off to the right, which is kind of cool, and just lots of green trees and open space. It's neat. It is. It's different.
All right. Well, Padres are there for the next 3 days. So is Kevin Acey, our Padres insider. Let's start with Xander Bogaerts because you wrote about it in depth today. For our listeners that haven't read what you wrote earlier, what is Xander Bogaerts dealing with? I know he's back in the lineup, but what's he dealing with as it relates to his shoulder?
Pain when he swings, certain kinds of swings. It's something that he says he just guarantees that it's not broken, because last year when he fractured bone in his shoulder socket, he couldn't even lift it. He couldn't do any of the strength tests, couldn't swing a bat. Now it's just when he does certain swings. Now, but you can't say that it's totally unrelated, because there have been things, he says, non-baseball things like rolling over in his sleep, maybe an awkward movement or something, where he has felt like a twinge, a pinch in his shoulder. So I guess we'll see. They think they can handle it with treatment. He thinks that the cold in San Francisco, and it was cold the first 3 nights, it always is. Not as cold as usual, but it was cold. He thinks that had something to do with it. And he's going to play, and he thinks he's going to play from here on out and just deal with it with treatment. But, you can't completely dismiss it, because it is the same shoulder that was last year.
Does this team need a sleeping expert?
I know. It's the first thing I thought of. Yeah.
It's just wow, this team has some injuries though, while sleeping. That's not good. But back to Xander just real quick. I mean, we talked about at the beginning of the year, Kevin, and you don't want to continue to harp on it because the team has to continue to go forward. But the more time goes on with less production from him, it becomes a bigger story. I feel like the longer this goes on with not a lot to show from Xander Bogaerts.
Yeah. I'm tempted to do to you what Mike Schill does. So, just kind of look at you.
I'm so glad you mentioned that.
So,
I'm so glad you mentioned that. I saw that interaction 2 nights ago. I forget what that was after the Game 3 loss.
Oh, yes. Oh, that was a very mild one. And funny thing about Mike is look, that question was not really a question. It was a statement, right? But here's the thing. Every manager I've ever covered knows where to go with that. That it's great game between 2 great teams, and it's an opportunity to compliment the other team and blah, blah. And Mike just is not in that headspace after a game, man. He is just a trip. And I say that, look, it can be a little much, but I say that with all admiration. That guy just manages his ass off. He's just not in a place to deal with some things after games, and certainly not to compliment the other team, unless he wants to.
Right.
But anyway, so Jim,
back to you. Yeah, I mean, you're right. I mean, and that's it. That's like your lead in was like, I hate to keep harping on it. And that's the kind of thing you say when what you're saying is legitimate.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's nothing now except the hope that he has the strong second halves that he has had. That is not what you're paying for. That's a whole different, I mean, two different topics almost. All you can do right now is hope he finishes this year as strong as he did the last 2 years. And then you go, okay, now what are we doing with Xander Bogaerts at $25 million a year?
No doubt about it. Kevin Acee is our Padres insider. It'll be a conversation, obviously, for many more days moving forward in all likelihood. Okay, so, you also wrote about, I mean, the Manny Machado numbers. You get to 350 career home runs. You've done a lot right. He's about to 2,000 career hits. He's still only 32 years of age. You wrote about it. How do you put in perspective the career to this point of Manny Machado?
The more I watch him, the more I feel honored to, get paid to be able to watch a great player. I like to not throw around the word great, but I think that sometimes when we're watching something in real time, we don't revere that player and his accomplishments as much as we do people we never watched or that we used to watch. And you put this guy, like, it's just, I mean, think about it. When he gets to, 28 shy? So sometime in July, maybe even this month, he gets to the 2,000, 350 double. He's going to be one of 12 guys. And we're talking about, Hank Aaron, Jimmy Fox, Albert Pujols, Ken Griffey Jr., Mickey Mantle. We're talking about players, Willie Mays, man. We're talking about players, right? And I thought it was really interesting something that Manny said yesterday as he was sort of digesting that. And he's all, man, if I can have he said something to the effect of man, if I could have half their careers the rest of my career, it's like, you know what? If he has half their careers, the rest of his careers, that's a first ballot 90-something% Hall of Famer. So that's where Manny's at. Is he's already he's got some work to do. But that's where he's at. Is he can see it, and we can all see it.
Kevin, how much longer is this team going to continue to try to sell us that Martin Maldonado and Elias Diaz is a good combination behind the plate?
I don't know, man. It's a good question. Where's the batting average? Because I'll still always go with, I was told 209 is okay, 109 is not okay.
He's in 160. Maldonado's in 160.
Okay. So look, they don't have another option. They don't. This just tells you everything you really need to know about Luis Campusano. That's not to say that by circumstances Campusano wouldn't be behind the plate for them at some point this year, but that's, he's third and it's not even close, right? That's not, they love what these two guys are doing. I do think Maldonado does do a really good job and makes these pitchers feel comfortable. Now, are their pitchers doing as well as they were earlier in the year? At some point, it's okay. But I think that we got to trust them on this now. But I will say that is a really valid question, especially, I forget exactly what the note was, but you can check it out. I had a note in today's newsletter. These guys are they're ugly outs for the last, month, basically. We're going 4 weeks of not just outs, but strikeouts. And I don't know what Elias Diaz is swinging at. Do you think it's a beach ball? And I don't mean to be glib because this is hard what these guys do. But Elias Diaz is just swinging. It's crazy. And I don't know, man. It's a problem. Now, unfortunately for them, first off, it's hard to find a catcher who can, significantly, appreciably improve you offensively. But I also would put it third, potentially behind left fielder and perhaps starting pitcher.
I got a name for you, Kevin. Ask around about Austin Wynns. He was just designated for assignment from the Reds today.
Okay. All right. I will ask around. I wonder what he was doing.
It
would be hard. No, here, go ahead.
I was going to say, if you look at his offensive numbers this year, he's slashing a 390, 429, 661, and 63 plate appearances, dating back to last season with the Reds. So
I'm gonna have to look into that, and then I will ask around.
And
but
they'd
like,
have to have their claim.
Here's the deal. It's not that much. It's not. Sometimes like people will throw out names to me, and I go and I look, and I'm like, okay, that's a name, because those numbers are not something you want on your team, right?
Yeah.
But wouldn't it be harder to have higher numbers than Martin Maldonado at this point?
Yeah.
Right.
And again, anyone on waivers,
That said,
yeah.
Catcher, different than any other position, man. Just is.
Yeah.
And these guys have done a really good job.
And there's an order when it comes to a waiver claim as well. So they can even put a claim in on a player like that. That doesn't mean they're going to land him. Kevin Acey's with us, our Padres insider. We just heard the update from Mike Schilt from pregame. We heard the 3 or 4 minutes he sat down with you guys. It didn't sound encouraging with Michael King. What is it? Just a holding pattern right now when it comes to King?
Yeah, I've been trying to since I woke up at what time did I wake up? 1:30 p.m. after getting here this morning at 10. I've been trying to get some information, and I have been able to. So Mike's update, but I'm thinking that you can read into that, and it's not good. Now, when I say not good, not like, oh no, season over. It's just it certainly would seem to be closer to the 6 weeks that I put out there than the 1 week, right? Well, since we're past 1 week, we already know that. But like, it would seem to be closer to the All-Star break, sort of window. And do we really even know then? So I wouldn't call that good news at all, as much as they try to put out that it's positive. And the positive in it is no structural damage. But like the fact that he plays catch and then stops, I'm not calling it a setback, but it's like he's not doing anything right now to get closer. So, I mean, to see him in the first half, this is me talking now. I haven't talked to anyone. This is me talking. Been doing this a long time. I'm shocked if he's back before the All-Star break.
Well, yeah, they just have to weather the storm then while Michael King is out. Luis,
you know what would help?
Yeah.
You know what would help? Dylan Cease pitching better.
Oh yeah, that would be nice instead of what he did. I mean, yesterday was fine, but like they can't afford to have fine from Dylan Cease, and the fact that he's gone 13 starts this year and no start has he not allowed 0 runs in. Like it is kind of concerning there, Kevin.
Yes. It is, and I don't mean look. I just thought that's like to me a big pressing concern on this team, because I will still say, like, they could. I don't think they're going to. I think they're going left field in terms of acquiring someone. But they could get by with that if Tatis and Arraez hit like they should, and Jackson Merrill hits like he should, and Manny keeps hitting. They could survive. They could, okay? With some nice guys, some guys stepping in. They could. But this pitching thing could get kind of troublesome here, because I see them right now, and I'm not denigrating anybody, but I'm trying to hold a team to a playoff, a championship contention standard. I see 3 number 5s and 2 number 3s, and that's what they've got right now. Now, Dylan Cease is better than a number 3. You nailed it. Whatever it is you said, Jim, about fine is not okay or whatever. Like fine is fine for Ryan Berger or maybe even Stephen Kolek, though. Dang, he's pitched really well, and Randy Vasquez has pitched really well. Those are fine. Those are really good number 5 starters, I think. But that's not Dylan Cease.
Right.
Before we get you out of here, Kevin, Luis Arraez left yesterday. We know he's back in the lineup. I think I looked it up in his last 13 games, which is just kind of finding an arbitrary amount of games. He said like 2, what I mean? Like if you find his worst.
I love stats though. That's awesome.
Listen, we both do. I think he's hit 204 in his last 13 games. A lot of that's predicated on 3 or 4 consecutive games he didn't have a hit. What was the deal with Arraez yesterday leaving the game? And how surprising is it that, offensively, he hasn't been the exact same player we saw a year ago?
You know what's crazy about him? Like, you can try to go through a lot of players and go, hey, what's their exit velocity? What's their launch angle barrel percentage?
Right.
What's their, right? You don't do that with Luis, because like his average exit velocity is like 32, miles per hour or whatever. I'm exaggerating to make a point. But like, it's the batting average of balls in play is just plummeted from his career, like 50 points lower than his previous career low. He's putting the ball all over the place and hitting it to people. I don't know. And he's one of those guys where, like, even the hitting coaches, like, just dissecting him and where he's at and what he's doing just isn't as easy. Who knows? Maybe it's he was trying to get on base more. I really don't know, man. It is wild what's happening with him. It really could be bad luck. The guy has, until recently, led the league in 3-hit games, but then also had more 0-hit games than he's ever had, or was on pace to, right? So I don't know.
Kevin, appreciate you taking time. Safe travels this weekend. We'll catch up with you next week when the Dodgers are here. So thanks for doing it, as always.
Right on. See ya.
All right, great stuff from Kevin Acee, our Padres insider, brought to you by the all-new Jamul Casino Resort, the Players Place. Let's react. There's a lot to react to. Plus, we'll get to the wrap coming up later this hour, and we're giving away a 4-pack of tickets to the San Diego County Fair. This is John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760, live on the iHeartRadio app. Maxed out on credit cards or struggling with high interest debt? You could pay it all off in days with Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan. Hey guys, it is Schaefer. Get cash out now without touching your low rate first mortgage. No appraisals, no waiting, no BS. The Rapid Equity Loan Program at Loan Pronto has been truly amazing. One Loan Pronto client just got $300,000 approved in under 24 hours. They paid off debt, renovated their kitchen, cut their monthly expenses by $1,800. A huge turnaround. Loan Pronto, instant approvals, low rates, no hard credit pull up front. Listen, your home equity, it's yours. Use it. Get cash to consolidate your debt down to one easy low monthly payment. Call Loan Pronto now for a free instant appraisal for your home and see how much cash you can get today. Call now to start the conversation. 619-207-4336 or loanpronto.com. 619-207-4336. Get debt relief now. Loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender. NMLS 1661781 on approved credit. NMLS consumeraccess.org. All right, San Diego FC back tomorrow night, taking on Club America, Snapdragon Stadium. The match is not televised, but you can hear it live right here, beginning at 6:30. The match will get underway at 7. San Diego Sports 760, your home for SDFC. Remember, we're going to qualify a listener this hour and next hour for those SDFC tickets for tomorrow night. When you hear that goal call from Adrian Garcia Marquez, call 877-767-4760 for your chance to qualify to win those tickets. We'll announce the winner coming up at 5:30. Kevin agreed with the idea that it's not overly encouraging on Michael King. His exact words, I'd be shocked if Michael King was back before the All-Star break. The All-Star break is nowhere near June 6th. It's not until the second or third week of July. So again, he's speculating. He hasn't heard that internally, but Kevin's saying today he'd be shocked if Michael King was back before the All-Star break.
Again, they need a sleep specialist, because if Xander's getting hurt sleeping and Michael King's getting hurt sleeping, like,
You're right.
I mean, can we get these guys to sleep better? Get some Tempur-Pedics in there.
You're not kidding.
What are
I
we
bought
doing?
one. They're nice.
Bring some just like roll up mattresses that you could put on these beds in their team hotels.
Yeah, like what's that soft cushion thing you put on top of a mattress, even if it's not Tempur-Pedic?
Like a foam.
Yeah, bring those things on.
Whatever it is.
Something soft that has a little give.
We have one of those at our house.
Everyone, you should have it.
Yeah. Now, it's a lot of like really nice. They're not staying at like Motel 6, but the nice hotels, the beds are nice.
They're nice, but they differ also.
They do differ, and especially if you have a certain sleeping pattern, like the hotel in Hawaii that we stayed at, the bed was fantastic. But I woke up and I didn't feel the same as I felt when I wake up at my bed at my house, because I sleep in that all the time.
Right.
So sleep is a big thing, and making sure you get the right bed's a huge thing, but we can't have these guys getting injured while they're sleeping.
What did you think of him saying that? Now, he wasn't saying this is who they are. I think he said this is how they've pitched. What did you think of him saying Dylan Cease and Nick Pivetta have pitched like number 3s in a rotation?
I would not agree on Nick Pivetta, but I would agree.
2.
I would agree on Dylan Cease, absolutely.
Has Pivetta been an ace to you the entire body of work, including this past start?
No, but he's put together a really good start to the year.
Yes, 1.6 WAR, 3.16 ERA.
So that's a 2 or 3, or Kevin's probably right. 2 or 3.
2.
It makes it better if you have like a true ace. If Michael King was still healthy, then you would say King, Pivetta, Cease.
Mm-hmm.
But it just with King out and Cease just not performing, you're asking Pivetta to step up and go out there and put up as many zeros as you possibly can, and that's not fair to Nick Pivetta.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. And then the thing on Vasquez and Kolek and Berger, I think he's right. I mean, these are number 5-esque pitchers. That's not a knock. I mean, that's a rotation piece, but you can't have 3 number 5s. You can't have 3 number 3s, you know what I mean? You got to have a 1, you got to have a 2. And right now they're going through it. We didn't even ask on you, Darvish, because how much can you ask on you, Darvish? But
it's the same thing.
It's the same thing. The King and Darvish, it's like they're not coming back immediately to go save this rotation, to go point this team in the right direction.
This is now going to take time. Like I said the other day. So if King is out for another 2 weeks,
could be longer than that.
Could be longer. Let's just say, for argument's sake, he's out for 2.5 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
All right, 2.5 weeks before he even starts throwing a bullpen. So then there's another week. Now you're at 3.5 weeks, because he's got to throw a bullpen, he's got to rest and recover, and he's got to see how he feels after his bullpen. So now you're at 3.5 weeks. Then if he feels good enough, then he's going on a rehab assignment. There's another week. 1 start, maybe 2, but I would think just 1 start if he feels good.
Mm-hmm.
So say he makes 1 start, feels good. There's another week. Now you're at 4.5 weeks out, almost 5 weeks. 5 weeks out. And then you got to set up a start for him at the big league level. You might be 5.5, 6 weeks before he's back on the mound after bullpens, after rehab, and after more bullpens to get ready to go back on the mound and throw, in his first start back, around 75, 80 pitches.
Yeah, and that timetable does line up with what Kevin was talking about, like that he would be shocked, just personally speaking, not hearing it from the organization, if he was back before the All-Star break. The All-Star break will begin Monday, July 14th. So the last game the Padres play before the break is Sunday, July 13th. It's June 6th. That's 5 weeks. So is he coming back in 5 weeks? Jim just gave you a pretty reasonable timeline. I'd be surprised also if he was back at some point in the major leagues in the next 5 weeks.
I need to find this bed he slept on so we can like burn it. Like never sleep on this bed ever again.
I mean, but how could you honestly be dealing with an 8-week pitching injury if it was solely sleep related from one night?
So you're not believing it's just solely sleep related?
I'm believing that might be a portion of the issue, but not the entire issue.
Kevin said he asked everybody multiple times about it, and they say 100% is from just sleeping wrong.
Well, people ask me things.
I do.
You know what I mean? Like,
I do agree. These guys have the best, access to. They have the access to the best doctors, access to the best physical therapists, access to the best, chiropractic care, nerve specialists.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're not like me and you. They have the best access to these guys,
absolutely,
out of anybody in the country.
Yeah, absolutely.
As a professional athlete, getting paid as much money as they're getting paid. So, you're probably right. It's probably something more, because that is crazy how from one night's sleep after he reportedly felt great, all of a sudden he got scratched from the start. And now he's out for a month and a half, almost 2 months.
Potentially,
like,
right.
What?
So the day he missed his start, I think it was in Atlanta.
It was that Saturday.
Yeah, so whatever the day is on that.
And that was a week and a half ago. It was almost 2 weeks ago. We're 2 weeks away from
Right.
Tomorrow's 2 weeks.
Okay, so just the exact day was he
24th.
missed a May 24th, right? He missed a May 24th start, and it's now June 6th. And Kevin said he'd be shocked if he's back before the All-Star game. So
because he slept wrong.
From May 24th, you're talking about until at best case second half of July. We're talking about 8 weeks.
Look, I get it. We all sleep wrong, and we all have those days we wake up and you're like, I don't feel great. But I'd be hard pressed to find where it lasts that long. With around the clock care that he's going to be getting.
Right. No, I agree.
Like Aaron, what was it? About a year and a half? I think it was a year and a half ago. Now she did sleep wrong and she couldn't move her arm above her shoulder. It was to the point where she couldn't move at all. So I have seen it firsthand where you sleep wrong and all of a sudden you're like, I can't move my shoulder, and you feel like immobilized, and it's just the worst feeling ever. And she had to wait to go see a physical therapist and a chiropractor to help her out. Michael King probably saw one that night.
Well, if he hasn't seen one, he could call Aaron.
I'm just
to talk him through it.
And Aaron's not a professional athlete like Michael King. I do know these things can happen because I've seen it firsthand.
Oh yeah, of course.
But
absolutely.
At the same time, man, that's a long time to be out, dude.
Because of sleeping on the wrong side of the bed, so to speak.
Yeah.
And a stiff neck. All right, we're going to get to the wrap on the other side. Be listening for that goal call. When you hear a call, 877-767-4760. We'll qualify another listener this hour to win that a pair of tickets to see SDFC tomorrow night. We're here until 6 p.m. The wrap is next. John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760, live on the iHeartRadio app.
All right, this update's brought to you by Pella Windows and Doors. Padres and Brewers start a 3-game series in Milwaukee. 5:10 first pitch. Randy Vasquez on the mound for the Padres in the NBA Finals. Tipped off last night. Game 1. It was a thrilling ending. Tyrese Halliburton with the game winner. With 0.3 seconds left on the clock, Pacers lead that series 1-0. Game 2, Sunday night in OKC, 5 p.m. tip time. Pella Windows and Doors, #1 on Consumer Report and the leader in window innovation, now offering their largest discounts ever. To celebrate 100 years as a company, to schedule your free consultation today, please visit Pella.com. Again, that's Pella.com.
All right, John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760. Later this hour, coming up in about 15 minutes, your chance to win a 4-pack of tickets to the San Diego County Fair. Believe it or not, it's fair time. Kicks off June 11th in 5 days.
Wow.
They have been setting up, I promise you that.
Oh,
there's a lot of rides.
Oh, I know, John.
And there's a lot of food.
Fair food is insane.
Crazy.
It's
insane.
It's crazy.
Like fried.
Like, hey, here's this fried burger. And by the way, we're going to fry it again.
Fry it again. Put ice cream on it.
Yeah. Do you want some fried ice cream?
On your fried burger?
Yeah.
You can do it.
Some deep fried sugar.
Yeah. And
absolutely.
Fried butter.
I mean, it's all good. It tastes great.
Deep fried Oreos.
Yeah, you can't go wrong.
They literally did that one year at the Wisconsin State Fair.
Deep fried butter.
No, well, they did deep fried butter too, but they did deep fried sugar. It was
sounds amazing.
Well, because it was air quotes. It was deep fried Kool-Aid, but it wasn't liquid. They just took the packets and somehow deep fried the sugar packets that you would make Kool-Aid out of.
Now, the one thing at the fair that I have not tried, and I've seen, and maybe I want a bite of it, but it just, I don't know, man. It looks way too much for me. It's the burgers with Krispy Kreme donuts as the buns. I'm like, I don't know if I can bring myself to do that.
You could.
I could, but I haven't.
You could. Yeah, you should. Kick this summer. Bring Bentley, even though I don't think you can bring your dog. But it's a pet theme.
I'm sure there's places you could bring your dog to.
Right. But wear your Bentley t-shirts.
We don't have Bentley t-shirts, which is actually kind of surprising.
I know. I had
knowing Aaron.
Buy them, wear them to the fair, and eat a Krispy Kreme burger. That's like the best weekend ever. Now, you can't go this weekend because it's not open. But beginning June 11th.
I do love me like a corn dog and a cold lemonade.
What about a funnel cake?
And I was about to get there. Funnel cakes with sugar on top.
Yeah, what's that called? Confectioner sugar?
And then maybe you can have the apple funnel cake.
Ooh.
That's fair to me. But deep fried everything, I'm like,
too much.
I don't know if I could do that.
Yeah.
Are you a giant turkey leg guy?
No, I'm not. I can't do that.
I am.
I can't afford it because they always want $50 for one.
I am. I just don't tell anyone. I'm just kidding.
You're like, I actually do eat meat all the time. You just don't know about it.
All right, we're going to get to that 4-pack of tickets to the San Diego County Fair. We'll give those away in a few minutes, but right now, let's get to this.
It's time for the wrap. Presented by Sombrero Mexican Food. Check out their website at sombreromex.com.
How many games will the NBA Finals go?
Well, it's going to have to go at least 5.
Not really. Not how
could it end
works.
Could it end in 3?
It could end in 4.
Oh, that's right.
When one team wins all the games.
Hi, I'm Jim, and I'm an idiot.
I mean, it's not likely. You're right, but
it's not 1-1. It's 1-0.
Mathematically, they only need 4 wins.
Yeah, it could go 4. Stupid. I've had a lot to do today. Okay.
You have.
Yeah. My mind is
been elsewhere.
It's scrambled. I still think 6. I said 6. I said Thunder and 6. I'm still sticking with Thunder and 6. At least there's now intrigue with Sunday. I'm excited to watch on Sunday now.
Right.
But if in the first half the Thunder are up 74-45 or something,
you're out.
Then guess what? Those numbers that we were talking about earlier today are going to become even worse.
I agree. It's going to be Thunder and 6 in my mind. I think Indiana gets a game at home, but I think the Thunder are too good. I thought they were too good last night until they weren't. I mean, that was shocking the way they lost that game. I think the Thunder are better than Indiana. I hate to say it. My wife grew up a Pacers fan. I give the Pacers a game at home, but I think the Thunder will win in 6. Next question.
Who wins the Women's College World Series? Texas Tech or Texas?
This series is tied at 1, Jim. This is winner take all tonight, as you know.
I am going to go with my Texas Tech Red Raiders.
Yours?
Yes, because I'm picking them.
Because you love Mahomes.
No, I actually hate Mahomes.
He was there last night. You saw with his wife.
He was, yes. But
take the Red Raiders.
Side note quickly, because you mentioned Mahomes at the game. Did you happen to catch, and this has gone on social media, when they did last night at the NBA Finals, the star cam, and they only showed Adam Silver?
The star was like
they had nobody
the players. Like Shea Gilgeous-Alexander.
Like they got a couple randos in the front row,
just like the Knicks games, right?
Now, like Shaq was there. I know a couple like big streamers were there, but like who cares? I guess
streamers. Well, Padres wrap-up show.
Well, like some of these streamers have
more than 8,000 subscribers.
Yes, Sean.
What is that possible?
Like millions of subscribers. But other than that, such a sad showing in Oklahoma City. Anyway, Texas Tech. I'm picking them tonight because they already had the upset over Oklahoma, right? It was.
Yeah.
And so they're the underdogs, if I'm not mistaken. Like a 12 seed?
Yeah.
Well, 12 seed. I have to be the underdog.
I mean, they're like, I guess, yeah. And Texas is like the 6th.
Well, they went, I know, but still, they went down 1-0 in the series. They won yesterday. So I'll take Texas Tech. What do you got?
I'm going to take, I don't know how to say her name. Is it Najari? Whatever. Their pitcher.
Why are you asking me? If you don't know how to pronounce it, I don't know how to pronounce it.
Their pitcher, Texas Tech's pitchers pitched every pitch of the College World Series as these multiple like NIL multi-million-dollar deals. She's been spectacular, so I'll trust her in a winner-take-all tonight against Texas. How about that? Texas Tech, winner-take-all in Oklahoma City for the Women's College World Series. I'm with you. I'll take Texas Tech. Next question.
Do you think Jason Kidd would be a good hire for the Knicks?
I think if you fire Tom Thibodeau, you have to try for an upgrade. I don't know if Jason Kidd would be an upgrade. Definitely would be a name. But I don't know how you can go from Tom Thibodeau to like a random no name is my point.
Right.
I mean, you can. It could work. But you're in New York and you're going to get destroyed for it. And if you don't win right away, then everybody will be pissed off even more at you for firing a head coach that took you to the Eastern Conference Finals for the first time in 2 decades. So at least if you get Jason Kidd, you might have a little runway on this just because he's a name and he's gone to an NBA Finals with the Dallas Mavericks last year as a coach, and he's won an NBA Finals as a player, and he was on, played for the Knicks and whatever, but it makes sense. It absolutely makes sense. But if you're the Mavs, would you allow that?
Well, I'm package dealing this thing if I'm the Knicks. I'm getting
Cooper
Nico.
Flag?
No, I'm getting Nico.
I'm
going to run this organization. But the crazy thing there, all the criticism on Nico, we even touched on this. Dallas could be among the favorites next year to supplant in Oklahoma City.
If they're healthy.
And depending on what they do in free agency.
That's a big if, though.
But that's why I wonder, but if I'm Jason Kidd, is this the time? Is this the team? Is it because Boston is going to be down in the East, strike while the iron is hot? Is it that hot is my point in New York compared to what Dallas is going to have adding Cooper Flag?
You have a better path in the East than you do in the West. And I think for however long that core of Nico and Jason Kidd, Anthony Davis are all together, unless they win, and there's still a chance that they couldn't. But unless they win, they're just going to continue to get criticized for that Luka trade.
Yeah, you're right.
Nonstop. So maybe you want to just get out and start fresh.
Yeah, potentially.
And it's not like the Knicks are bad. Knicks just made the Eastern Conference Finals.
No, they're good. They're good. The question is how good and can it be maintained? And are they the best team in the East next year with a better head coach? Maybe. Next question.
Is this a must-win series for the Padres?
Oh, I never thought of it like that.
Is it a must-win game tonight?
No.
No, it's not a must-win series, but you would like to see the Padres, play better. And you're going up against a red-hot Brewers team right now with 3 pitchers on the mound for you that aren't Michael King or Nick Pivetta or I'm not going to say Dylan Cease because he's actually sucked this year, but you get my point.
Yeah,
you got to navigate a tough series on the road. A tough place to play with, Kolek and Berge and Vasquez-y. I don't know what they. I don't know.
Yeah, but Ho might come back.
Ho might come back. Yeah.
You know.
What does Mike Schilt call Randy Vasquez? Like, what's his nickname?
I think he calls him Vasquez. He's one of the few.
Because you can't really do much with Vasquez.
He calls Iglesias Hosey, even though his name's Jose.
Yeah.
Ho's going to throw.
Ho's going to throw.
Yeah.
What about Stephen Kolek? What does he call Stephen
Kolek?
Co?
Coley?
Co? Just Co?
That's a good point. Maybe Stephanie.
If you can't have an E at the end of the name, Stephanie. Oh my God. You answer the question. Is it a must-win series or not?
All right, call right
Other
now.
side?
It's not a must-win series.
I know it's not. I'm just kidding.
Unfortunately. Call right now if you want a free 4-pack of tickets to the San Diego County Fair. We were talking about that mouth-watering food, all those thrilling rides. If you want a free 4-pack of tickets to the San Diego County Fair, you need to call right now. The number to call is 877-767-4760. It gets underway next week in Del Mar. 877-767-4760. First two callers will be contestants for trivia. Call now. That's next. This is John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760, live on the iHeartRadio app. All right, John and Jim. San Diego Sports 760 on this Friday afternoon with you until 6 p.m. We're qualifying. How many more listeners, Brian? 2 more listeners for those tickets? We're going to qualify 2 more listeners for SDFC tickets for tomorrow night against Club America at Snapdragon Stadium, a match you can hear right here on San Diego Sports 760. One more qualifier between now and 5 p.m., another between 5 and 5:30. We'll announce the grand prize winner of those tickets coming up at 5:30. What do you got? Oh, you were going to tell me something about the Pacers' path to a championship?
Yeah, so listen to this.
And then we'll get to Trainwreck Radio in a second.
If the Pacers can pull off 3 more wins, they will have officially navigated the toughest path to a championship in NBA history.
Okay. Through Oklahoma City, through the Knicks and the Cavs and the Bucks.
So this is strength of opponents faced during the playoffs. Okay. So right now, if they do win this finals, they will have gone through the Bucks, the Cavs, the Knicks, then the Thunder. The net rating as far as like win percentage goes is like a 7.3. The next closest would be the 1994-1995 Houston Rockets, where they navigated through the Jazz, the Suns, the Spurs, the Magic. The net rating against those teams was 6.6. So the top 10 here, Pacers this year if they win. Rockets in 94, the 2000-2001 LA Lakers, the 96-97 Bulls, the 2001-2002 Lakers, the 2010-2011 Mavericks, the 1999-2000 Lakers, the 2015-2016 Cavs, the 93-94 Rockets, and the 2021-2022 Warriors. That's the top 10 toughest paths to a championship in NBA history.
You know what that tells me? Steph Curry's legacy is a lot worse than I thought because he's only once on that list. He has the softest rings. Who did he beat? Like the 24-80 Wizards? I'm kidding. All right, let's get to it.
Steph's a bum.
He's only on it once.
Stupid. How does this affect LeBron's legacy?
And wait, how many times was LeBron on that list as a champion?
It was the year that they came back from 3-1
against the Warriors.
Yeah.
Okay, one time. All right. What do we got today, Brent?
All right, 3 questions, 2 contestants, 1 lifeline. Today's 2 contestants, we have Bill and we have Audrey. Bill, you called in first, so you have your choice of John or Jim. Who do you want to go with?
John, please.
All right, Bill and John.
Bill and John. Audrey, you get Jim, okay?
Okay, let's see if I can do it.
All right, good luck.
What was the show? Bill and whatever?
Bill Nye the Science Guy?
No, Bill and
he's thinking
someone.
Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
Okay,
That's a movie.
All right, what do we got?
Brent, what's the question?
All right, guys. Did you know that there have been 9 players in NBA history that have scored more than 45 points in an NBA Finals game? Today's question: name any of those 9 players that have scored more than 45 points in an NBA Finals game.
Wow.
So this is just an individual game, not like for the series or
one
career.
game.
No average, just one
single game. Yes.
All right. Audrey, you're up first. What's your first guess? You do have a lifeline if you want to use it.
I need to use a lifeline.
Okay, right away. I will give you.
Let me see. Yeah.
Wait, hold on. Do you want to use it immediately or do you want to hold on to the lifeline?
Actually, I'll wait. I'll wait.
Okay.
Okay, so then what's your guess?
Let's see. Oh gosh. I'm drawing a blank.
Do you want to use a lifeline though?
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay, all right. I'll give you one. It's not the first name I would think of, but I will give you Steph Curry. Do you take that?
Yes.
All right, there you go.
Because you know his career high in the
scored
finals.
47 points in the 2019 NBA Final Game number 3 when they had like everybody injured.
Yeah, when they played the Wizards or whatever.
No, they were playing the Raptors. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So good, Audrey, you're on the board.
All right, Bill, you're up. What's your first guess? You do have a lifeline if you want to use it.
I'm going to say Michael Jordan.
Michael Jordan. Good guess. Good guess on the list.
6-time champion.
Oh man.
All right, Audrey, your second guess. You don't have a lifeline, so this is all up to you. Can you name an NBA player that scored more than 45 points in a single NBA Finals game in NBA history? Do you know any?
Don't
NBA,
overthink it.
Any NBA players that you know of?
Yeah. Um,
5 seconds.
Shaq.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
All right. Shaquille O'Neal.
Shaq.
Shaq is not on the list. Oh, good guess, though. Good guess. Bill, back to you. What is your second guess? You do have a lifeline if you want to use it.
I'm going to say Wilt Chamberlain.
Wilt Chamberlain is he on the list?
On the list.
Oh,
no, not on the list. All right, Audrey, back to you. Final guess. You don't have a lifeline. So name me an NBA player that scored more than 45 points in one single NBA Finals game.
That's more than 45.
More than
Kareem
45.
Abdul-Jabbar.
Kareem
for the lead.
Yes.
No. Bill
Not over, though.
Not over. Bill could walk it off here. Did I use that right, John?
Yeah.
He could walk it off. He could walk it off here with the correct answer. Final guess, Bill. You do have a lifeline if you want to use it. What do you got?
I'm going to say Elgin Baylor.
Elgin
Baylor for the win. Wow. Okay, going back. I would have said Kobe Bryant.
I would not have said LeBron James, but I would have been tempted to say LeBron James.
Yeah, LeBron's a good guess, too. I would have said Kobe. Would either of us have been right, LeBron or Kobe?
Kobe's not on the list. LeBron is.
Wow.
LeBron is on
Okay.
the list. All right. 45.
Wow, that's a big number.
Points.
Shea could do that this series.
What about Magic Johnson?
No, he didn't score that much.
I thought he had like a 40-point game 7.
Why don't you just say Draymond?
Draymond actually had game 7 in 2016. He like 34, 36 points. So he would have been the finals MVP that year.
Magic
LeBron
had
didn't.
42 once.
Okay, so he's close.
That's close. All right,
But there's a lot of people.
Who's on this list?
All right, number 1, Elgin Baylor. He scored 61. That's the most in a finals game. Yeah, that's pretty good. Jordan was on the list twice. He had 55 and he had 46. Rick Barry was on there. He had 55. The logo, Jerry West. Yeah. LeBron, he had 51. Giannis, Bob Pettit, they both had 50. AI is on the list. Then Steph, and then Jordan again.
I forgot LeBron scored 51 in 2018 when in that finals game 1. That's when he scored 51.
And Wilt had 45, but we needed more than 45.
Okay, never mind.
We were talking about the 0-1 finals when AI scored 48 in LA.
In overtime.
Yeah.
Right?
Win.
Overtime?
I don't think that game went to overtime, did it?
Was that the game when he stepped over
Tyronn Lue, the answering machine?
Yeah, that's
what Tyronn Lue called himself from.
And it's funny. Now, Lakers are a much better. I'm not gonna say much better, but they're what's the word I'm looking for?
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm trying to compare them to this year's Thunder team.
What, the 0-1 Lakers or the franchise?
Just the 0-1 Lakers with Kobe.
We don't know yet because
no. I'm just saying, like as far as popularity.
Oh yeah, nowhere near.
Nowhere close, right?
Yep.
But the one moment that we talk about from the NBA Finals was AI stepping over Tyronn Lue.
Definitely.
So, like, I'm trying to link it. You know,
that could
Tyrese
be Halliburton, where the Thunder win the next 4. You're right, but we'll remember Halliburton
because this champion. Hate to say it, it's going to be forgotten very quickly. I hate to say it.
You're probably right.
Like whoever wins this title, this is not going to be a finals. Like people are going to be like, dude, oh my gosh.
I agree, unless the Pacers win it and Halliburton does something again.
I think even if it all right, hypothetically, say it goes 7 and every game is just amazing.
And Halliburton hits a game winner in game 7. I mean, dude.
But that's asking you. You're asking for like the best case scenario for this finals to be even talked about after this year.
Yeah, you're right. And I don't think that's going to happen either. All right. On the other side, if you missed Mike Schilt earlier, we'll share his pregame comments with the media on the other side. Plus, we're qualifying listeners to win SDFC tickets. Be listening for that goal call on the radio. When you hear a goal call 877-767-4760 for a chance to qualify to win 2 free tickets for tomorrow night to see SDFC at Snapdragon Stadium. Hour 4, John and Jim coming your way next on San Diego Sports 760 and live on the iHeartRadio app.
Chucky Irving, Chucky Lozano went chuk boom.
This update's brought to you by, there we go. This update's brought to you by Anderson Plumbing, Heating, and Air. Padres and Brewers moments away from first pitch in Milwaukee. Randy Vasquez on the mound for the Padres. And last night, game 1 of the NBA Finals. We've been talking about it all day. Tyrese Halliburton hit the game winner with 0.3 seconds left on the clock. Pacers have a 1-0 series lead there. Game 2 is Sunday night in Oklahoma City. And tomorrow night, 7 p.m., SDFC takes on Copa America. You can listen to the game right here on San Diego Sports 760. Need help fast? Anderson's same-day guarantee clears clogs pronto. Nobody wows clients like they do. Anderson Plumbing, Heating, and Air has served over 500,000 residential clients for more than 45 years. Anderson Plumbing, Heating, and Air. That's AndersonPHA.com.
It's John and Jim to warm up that drive home.
Here's my favorite stat, because you're going to give me crazy stats. Here's something simple on the Pacers.
Okay.
This year in the postseason, when trailing by 15 in a game or more, they are 5-3.
Tyrese Halliburton's the only player with 3 go-ahead shots in the final 5 seconds in a single postseason. He's got more of those in the 2025 postseason than Kobe Bryant had in his entire career.
Now, time for John and Jim.
All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? Final hour of John and Jim. You have 2 chances to win this hour. We've got the pair of tickets to SDFC. We'll qualify someone in the next 30 minutes, announce the winner of those tickets for tomorrow night. When you hear the goal call, make sure to call 877-767-4760 for a chance to qualify to win. We'll announce the winner at 5:30. Also this hour, a 4-pack of tickets to see Dierks Bentley at the North Island Credit Union Amphitheater June 19th. Tickets and info at Ticketmaster.com. Also, Padres coming up in about 10 or so minutes. We'll hear from Mike Schild if you missed it earlier momentarily. They're taking on, Jim, a red-hot Brewers team. 9-1 in their last 10, 6.2 runs per game in their last 10. They just showed on the broadcast that second in baseball over that stretch. Their staff ERA is 2.49 over their last 10. So a serious test getting underway tonight for the Padres in Milwaukee.
It would be nice if the offense started going here a little bit. You know, we saw some signs from Fernando Tatis Jr. In the last series against the Giants, having a 3-hit night, almost hitting a home run the other day. Probably, most times it is a home run. He felt good on it.
He smoked that ball.
I know. And he even did a bat flip too. You're like, But anyway, get him going. Luis Arraez, who we talked about today, he's not done well recently. Get him going. Manny Machado's already hot, so stay hot, Manny. Jackson Merrill, he's not where he was to start the year, but he's also not like awful. But he needs to get it going as well to get back to producing runs and driving the ball and have a game this weekend where you go 3 for 4 with a home run and a double. You're capable of that.
Absolutely.
And if those things happen with just those 4 dudes, it just makes everything much easier for the rest of the lineup.
Yeah, I agree, because we've spent a lot of time on Vasquez, Kolek, Berger, your 3 starters this weekend. But you're right. Like, give them room to operate with. Go out and score 6 runs a couple of times. Make it where your starters don't have to be perfect, where they can go 5 innings, 3 runs, and you can win a game. So it's about to get underway. Again, game 1 of the series. If you missed it earlier, Mike Schild spoke with the media for 3 or 4 minutes. He started by talking about Manny Machado coming off his 350th career home run.
Yeah, I mean, after the game last night, hard-fought game, didn't come our way, so didn't get a chance to celebrate it, and I think it's something that's worth clearly mentioning. I mean, 350 is a big accomplishment. The accolades are there with the people that are in that category, especially the category of, he's done it at the age he's done it at. And, just really special. We watched we celebrated with him today earlier and just wanted to congratulate him publicly.
It was interesting. I was going to ask him if he was feeling the moment as he was rounding the bases, and found out afterwards he wasn't even aware until he got into the dugout. And Xander kind of reminded him, hey, big moment. Then he had a chance to reflect on it. It seemed meaningful to him as well.
Yeah, of course. I mean, again, he's in high cotton with where he's at, with the groups he's at. But, he also knows he's still going.
Yeah. Well, that was his focus too. He said, I'm just more worried about playing the games and getting it done. The next milestone for him is 2,000 hits. He'll be only one of 12 players to have done that at age 32. But he seems to have the focus of knowing that his number one thing is winning games.
Yeah, he's got his head in really the right place. And very team first. How do we win? And how do I contribute to the winning? But that's the bottom line.
Luis Arraez Xander Bogaerts, can you give us an update on how they're doing?
Yeah, so they're both in the lineup today. We could stretch him to place at first base. It makes sense. We got Sheetsy over there. He's starting to feel better himself. So Louis going to DH, and everybody feels medically him that he's ready to go. So he'll do that, and Bogey's back in there as well. So both encouraging signs.
Yeah. Any update on you at this point? What might be his next step?
Scheduled for a bullpen today. Haven't heard anything from Petco back yet, so we'll let you know.
Okay. Michael King, anything?
Not a whole lot. Michael's in a little bit of holding pattern, a little more of a discovery pattern, definitely a recovery pattern. It's one of these things that just, you're not going to be able to do a whole lot until it starts to improve, and it's a slow and steady improvement at this point. So we're in a little bit of a holding pattern in the recovery, and then more of a discovery phase of being assertive about figuring out exactly what it is and the best way to treat it, because it's not something that is very common in our sport.
Is Brian Hoying still making progress?
He's doing really good. Ho's going to throw tomorrow. So Brian's in a good spot. Just saw him over, checked in on him. He came to San Francisco, but he's going to throw tomorrow, close to around 30 pitches, and, go from there.
Randy Vasquez going for you today. He's done a really nice job of controlling the walking score his last 4 or 5 outings, which have been this year than the previous ones, obviously. What's changed from your perspective? Is it more of a mindset, an approach, or what do you think turned that around?
I think it's probably a combination of things. When you start to get more time in this league and you get settled in more, particularly with a guy that's not like a big strikeout guy, more of a contact guy, you tend to, kind of feel your way through it a little bit. But now he knows he can get outs in the strike zone with multiple pitches, and now he's got confidence in that and knows where to get those outs as well, with Maldi helping him a little bit behind the plate. So I think it's a combination of things.
To be clear, is Michael not playing catch?
Michael played some catch a couple of days ago, and we'll continue to play light catch. But it's, we're, full disclosure, it's one of those like, yes, play catch. Rest. Yes, keep the arm moving. Rest. So we're navigating all of that, but he's moving it enough to see how it feels and appropriately test it based on the intensity level.
Yeah, he ain't even close to returning.
Right. Talking about King.
You can read between the lines. You can, just take what they say and analyze it, and it's not going to be anytime soon.
Yeah, and then that was followed up with Kevin, who joined us, Kevin Acer, a Padres insider, who said that he'd be shocked if Michael King returned before the All-Star break, which isn't until July 15th. So that's not encouraging. Hopefully he's back sooner rather than later. Like, it's not much more beyond the All-Star break, but that's a good amount of time, and you're going to face the Brewers and the Dodgers and the Diamondbacks coming up. So let's just see how they navigate tonight, truthfully. I mean, to your point about the big four in this lineup, please, don't make it look so hard. Like, it's looked hard. They've scored
baseball is hard.
But you know what I mean? Like, the one or fewer runs in 9 of their, all these stats that make the offense look bad, please reverse those. Now, easier said than done against a Brewers team that's pitched it really well here recently. But, you're going to a more controlled environment where there's a roof. I know it's open tonight, but that's because it's nice. You were just in San Francisco where it's cold, and that is accurate. Hopefully it just looks better this weekend. But again, I get it. Easier said than done against a team that's won 9 of 10. I'd imagine Milwaukee's got good crowds this weekend, considering the way their team is playing. They've been on the road playing well. So we'll see how the Padres play here tonight. They do have, again, Bogaerts in their lineup. They do have Arraez in their lineup. Both of them were out over portions of the last day or so in San Francisco.
So I was just looking because I was curious. When's the last game they won 7-1?
Okay.
That it was just an easy win. They put up a 4 spot in the second, put up another couple runs in the next couple innings, maybe tacked on in the 7th.
Don't tell me yet. You're telling me it wasn't on the homestand against Miami or Pittsburgh?
No, it wasn't.
And it wasn't in San Francisco in the first 2 games, obviously. It wasn't in Atlanta in their 2 wins, correct?
Correct.
I don't even know who they played before. They lost 6 straight before that. So you're going back to home in May. Someone at home in the middle of May.
Well, if I want to use this game, I guess I could use this one.
Okay.
May 14th.
May 14th.
Against the LA Angels. They won 5-1. They scored 3 runs in the bottom of the first. It was a 3-1 game up until the 8th where they scored 2 runs in the bottom of the 8th.
That doesn't count. That's not 7-1. I need 7-1.
Fine. Then the last time that they've had a game where it was a complete
laugher.
Not laugher, but just like no stress.
Decisive. Mm-hmm.
Was the 21-0 game against Colorado. That's the last time they've had a game where it hasn't been stressful.
And that date was?
May 10th. Every game since May 10th, either a loss, which, okay.
Right.
But they haven't had a non-stressful win since May 10th against the Rockies. Because
would you even call that non-stressful?
21-0.
But it was at elevation.
But that's it. That's the last time.
That's amazing.
Because I'm looking here. Seattle got swept. Toronto, they got swept. Atlanta, they won 2-1, then lost 7-1, then won 5-3. But it's 2-run game. It's not like it's not stressful, obviously. Every game in the Giants series was close. Miami, every game was close there. Pittsburgh, every game was close there, except for the 5-0 loss.
Yeah, they've had a lot of come from behind wins actually in there.
Right, but those
I know.
are stressful.
That's what I'm
because
saying. They haven't had a lot of like wire to wire wins.
Not 7-1, 6-0, 5-0 wins.
Crazy, man.
So it has been a month since the last time they had like a just non-stress at all type of game that they won.
They could use one this weekend. That's for sure. Padres and Brewers from Milwaukee. Be listening for that goal call. When you hear it, call 877-767-4760 for a chance to qualify to win 2 free tickets to see SDFC tomorrow night. Later in the hour, we've got a 4-pack of tickets to see Dierks Bentley at Gallagher Square, June 19th. Jim's back page is ahead. More on the NBA Finals and the Padres coming up next. This is John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760 and live on the iHeartRadio app.
Chucky Irving, Chucky Lozano went chuk, boom.
All right, John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760. Be listening for your chance to win that 4-pack of tickets to see Dierks Bentley. This is coming up June 19th at the North Island Credit Union Amphitheater. Tickets and info at Ticketmaster.com. Did you realize what tonight is? A chance for
Friday.
Our Oilers to go up 2-0. Our Oilers.
Our Oilers.
San Diego's Oilers.
Dude, I know NHL doesn't really nationally, like, you don't see much or talk about it much, but
not huge on
how
sports radio.
Fun would it be to have an NHL team here in San Diego to go watch a playoff game?
Okay, fair.
Dude, the atmosphere
would be amazing.
In Edmonton for game 1 was insane. Talk about, the pageantry and the pomp and circumstances. They bring the cup out to center ice.
You get both anthems.
You get both anthems on television. You get both teams being announced player
Stanley
by
Cup's
player.
on the ice, man.
Stanley Cup is right there on the ice. You got the strobe light on it, dude. They did it right. You got the cup logo on the screen. You got the cup logos on the ice. You got the cup logos on all the jerseys, of course.
Okay, but would you have preferred last night to watch your NHL San Diego goals in game 1 of the Stanley Cup Finals or your game 1 San Diego Conquistadors in the NBA Finals? Isn't there like an ABA team that was called the Conquistadors?
I don't know.
Or whatever. San Diego.
Are you asking me would I rather have the Stanley Cup Final or an NBA Final?
We were just typing up the Stanley Cup Finals as being amazing in San Diego, but you take the NBA over it.
Yeah, NBA, yes. But I will say,
I take the Stanley Cup too. Yeah.
If you are going to choose any other atmosphere and compare it to something, I'll take NHL and I'll compare it to a lot of
arena.
Things.
It's incredible. Yeah, I agree.
Especially the Stanley Cup Final and the Stanley Cup playoffs.
I'm with you completely on that.
It's just different. It's electric. Hockey games are so much fun to go to, especially during the postseason.
Do you think coming to Sports Arena would be your guess at the Stanley Cup? Or
they would take one look at that place and be like, what?
what? There's no cups.
No, we're not even doing exhibition games here.
No, they're not. But yeah, game 2 is tonight. Oilers trying to take command of a series against the Panthers. They lead that series 1 game
Come on,
to none.
Edmonton, let's go.
Game 2 of the NBA Finals is not until Sunday. This is the first time in the postseason they're giving the teams the proper rest that we talked about 6 weeks ago. It was every other day in the first, second, and third rounds, right? And now game 1 was a Thursday. Game 2 is a Sunday. Game 3 is a Wednesday. So they got a lot of time.
When's the game 7 potentially?
Look that up.
It better be on a Sunday or a Friday.
It's gotta be.
Friday night would be tough.
It's gotta be a Sunday, right?
Game 5. Yep, Sunday. Game 7. Smart. Sunday. That's smart.
What's the date? Game 7 wouldn't be until June 22nd.
Yeah, I know.
That's 16 days from now.
Dude.
That's what the draft is before. No, it's not. The draft is 3 days later.
No wonder they had to do every other day for the semis
to make sure they could fit finals. In the NBA Finals.
How about you just not have the NBA postseason be so freaking long?
How would you shorten? I'm getting rid of the play-in tournament. I'm fine with the best of 7s.
Dude, get rid of the play-in tournament. Get rid of the in-season tournament. Shorten the first round to 5 games. Go to 70 games seasons.
You're doing a lot of shortening.
And call it a day. Now, again, they'll never do that because of money and sponsorships, because money rules all. But that's how you do it. You get rid of the dumb in-season tournament. You get rid of the dumb play-in tournament. You just go 1 through 8 seed. None of this other crap. Then you have round 1 be 5 games, round 2, 3, and then 4 7-game series. You shorten the season to 70 games. That's perfect.
In what year will a play-in participant appear in the NBA Finals? How many years will that take? I'm assuming it hasn't happened. Well, it's basically a 7 seed or lower appear in an NBA Finals.
If you remember, John, in the first year of the NBA in-season tournament, are you talking about playing games? Or?
I'm talking about playing games, not in-season tournaments. Yeah, playing.
I don't know.
You know what I mean? Like
a
who
7
plays
seed.
In the 7-8 that makes then the finals, or who plays in the 9-10 that then makes?
I don't know.
I mean, that could be a long time.
But I was going to say the two teams that first played in the in-season tournament was the Lakers
and the Pacers.
I
remember that.
It was like their warm-up for the NBA Finals
And the
this
Lakers
year.
won it.
Lakers did win it. They raised the banner.
They raised that banner. That's right. What do you got, Brett? Oh, I thought you had something. All right, John and Jim with you again. We have those tickets to give away. That's a 4-pack of tickets to see Dirks Bentley, North Island Credit Union Amphitheater, June 19th. Padres and Brewers are underway tonight, Jim, where they are scoreless.
They're playing baseball?
They're playing baseball.
Like throwing a round baseball over a plate and see what happens?
They're doing it this weekend. Randy Vasquez out there. Again, I think what's unique about this weekend is you're not going to see the familiar names like Cease and Pavetta. That's because it's not their turn in the rotation. But Randy Vasquez and Stephen Kolek, Ryan Bergert, household.
You just hope that tonight isn't the night where Randy Vasquez
doesn't have command.
What's the saying? It's the movie Brent, the chariot turns into a pumpkin or whatever. I'm blanking hard on this. Come on, give me
dude. Cinderella.
I know, Cinderella, yes.
Like, are you doing analogies?
Like the glass slipper doesn't fit. It does fit, but
so you hope it's tonight where Randy Vasquez is good, is what you're saying?
You don't hope. You hope that the clock doesn't strike midnight. Is what I'm trying to say. I'd get there.
It won't.
My
The
brain
game will
is
be
all
played
fried on a Friday.
2 hours and 45 minutes.
I know.
They won't be
Cinderella.
playing at midnight.
At least I knew what that was. John would have no clue.
I know who Cinderella is. What do I look like, an idiot?
Yes.
True. All right. So on the other side, we have a grand prize winner, don't we?
We have a grand prize winner.
All right. We're going to share that grand prize winner with our listeners. SDFC, we've barely touched on them this week because they're entering the friendly against Club America. From a regular season perspective, SDFC has been really good, well positioned in the West. We're basically at the midway point of the season. 34 regular season matches. What have they played? 15 or 16? I think at this point. So SDFC's playing well. They have Club America tomorrow night, Snapdragon Stadium. Again, it's not televised. If you want to see the match, you got to be there. We're giving away tickets on the other side. We'll announce our grand prize winner. If you want to hear the match, you need to do it right here exclusively on San Diego Sports 760. So we'll announce our grand prize winner on the other side. Plus, on the other side, we'll give away that 4-pack of tickets to see Dirks Bentley. That's at the North Island Credit Union Amphitheater coming up June 19th in less than 2 weeks at the North Island Credit Union Amphitheater. Jim's back page ahead as well. Well, that's the grand prize winner of those SDFC tickets coming up next. This is John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760 and live on the iHeartRadio app.
This update's brought to you by Angelo's Towing. Padres Brewers underway in Milwaukee. Scoreless, top of the second inning there. And game one of the NBA Finals last night was a thriller. Tyrese Halliburton hit the game winner with 0.3 seconds left on the clock. Pacers lead the series 1-0. Game two is on Sunday night in OKC, 5 p.m. tip time. And tomorrow, SDFC takes on Copa America, an international friendly, 7 p.m. kickoff time there. You can listen to that match right here on San Diego Sports 760. Stuck on the road? Angelo's Towing is here for you 24/7 with over 20 years of experience offering towing and roadside services. For friendly, fast service, call Angelo's Towing at 619-702-8888 or visit angelostowing.com.
All right, we have Dirks Bentley tickets to give away. We'll do it at some point in the next 10 or so minutes. Plus, we have Jim's back page on a Friday afternoon. What could be in store for us today? Stay tuned.
Stay tuned, everybody.
Not going to want to go anywhere.
No, you're not.
A lot going on in that back page of Jim's.
Yes, there is.
So stay tuned for that coming up later this hour. As you just said, Padres and Brewers underway. We have seen the return of Xander Bogaerts to the lineup tonight. He's dealing with a shoulder. Seen the return of Luis Arraez dealing with a leg injury, both in the lineup tonight for Mike Schill, trying to jumpstart a struggling offense tonight against a really good starting pitcher in Chad Patrick.
Yeah, nothing says jumpstart a struggling offense like Xander Bogaerts.
Yeah, like jumpstart, but like the cables don't.
The cables are literally like ripped in half.
Do you know how to do that? If there was an emergency?
Yeah, if I had the right like stuff.
Now, Brent shaking his head no, are you saying Jim doesn't know?
No, I don't know how to do that. I'm awful at that stuff.
If the world was on the line and they're like, yo, I have jumper cables, I'd be like, I would just like throw them off the world.
Yeah,
like,
same with me.
Because my fear is I'm going to electrocute myself.
Same.
You won't if the car's not on.
How could you jumpstart a car if the car's off?
But can't you isn't it bad if you put the cables on the wrong connectors?
No, because you're not. Okay.
What do you do to do it?
Oh boy. All right. So you have jumper cables, right?
Yeah.
All right.
On both sides, there's these like prongs.
Yeah. And you're going to put one on one side and the other on the other side, usually negative and positive. So they match up. So they have little plus and minus signs there on the jumper cables and on your battery. Yeah. So you put the minus with the plus and the plus with the minus. Then what you do is you hook up the same to the other car,
the
battery,
working car,
the working car's battery.
Is the working car on or off when you do that?
No, they're both off.
Now you the electrocution.
Now
part.
You can turn them on. It's fine, but as long as you don't literally touch the battery,
you got to
going to be
your
okay.
Hands like rubber or like
handles. Yeah, they're rubber. It's fine. You're not going to get electrocuted. It's okay. Then you turn the car on, rev that baby up. Boom. How you doing?
What were we talking about?
I actually. Probably a month and a half ago.
Oh, your car didn't start out here.
My battery died in the parking lot here at iHeart. I had to call AAA to bring me a new battery to put a new battery in.
Did you try jumper cables beforehand?
I don't have jumper cables, and I have AAA, and so I just called AAA.
That's my theory.
But if I had jumper cables and there was a car or somebody if you were here, I'd be like, hey, can I? But you have an electric car now, so. I don't think that would work.
Well, I have two. I have a Volkswagen too.
But if you had your Volkswagen here, I'd be like, hey, bring your Volkswagen here. Let me jump my car. But it didn't change the fact that I needed a new battery.
Is it an appropriate thing to ask someone, can I use your car to jump my car?
Yes.
That's okay.
It's very appropriate.
Okay.
More than appropriate, I think.
But hypothetically, I got my Volkswagen here and your car is broken down next to my car. And you're like, yo, can you jump my car?
Yeah.
I'm going to be like, fine. But this is going to take 30 minutes.
It would not take 30 minutes. It would take 5
minutes. Okay.
Now, the problem that I had is my battery actually died. So I needed a new battery.
So it couldn't be jumped.
It could be jumped. But the thing is, the second I turn the car off,
it would have been dead again.
You're dead in the water. So I had to get a new battery. Then they replaced the battery. And then the prongs on the battery that were attached to the electric part of the system of the car.
Yeah.
It was loose. So I had to figure this out on my own. You would have never figured this out.
No chance.
No chance in hell. I had to buy a new attachment for my battery and replace it. And so it was a lot, but I don't know how we got here.
I don't know either, but I have a back page story.
I know. We were talking about Xander Bogaerts. And he's the perfect person to jumpstart an offense, said nobody ever.
The thing with Xander, and not to pile on as we pile on,
Sure,
but
pile, who cares?
here's the thing. Here's the one that I'll give him credit for something. He does reach base. Like his batting average isn't going to be 160. He'll draw walks, he'll reach base. The big difference for me between Boston Xander and San Diego Xander is the lack of slug, right? Like that is, and I'm not saying home runs even. I'm just saying like the power, the, I don't know, gap power, even by and large, like driving in runs, something that was almost like, a guarantee in Boston. Look at his numbers in Boston. Look how many runs he drove in there. He had multiple seasons that were absurd from like an RBI perspective. He had those crazy high double seasons, high home run seasons. To me, it's not even about the home runs. It's more just about the overall like gap to gap power where he'll have 3 hits, Jim. We've said this so many times. He'll have 3 hits, no RBIs. He'll have 2 hits and a walk, no RBIs. Like, so it's not that he's 0 for 5 every night. He really isn't. He's never going to hit 160. He's not. He'll have stretches where over 10 games he'll hit 300. There's no doubt. It's just it's lacking punch is my point.
He has a .8 WAR this year. He's got 21 RBIs, 1 RBI in the last 19 games now.
I think that's right.
He's hitting 238, 321 OPS. His numbers are awful. His OPS plus is 84. Like, give me a break.
Which is way below league average.
His career OPS plus is 114. And that's not like great or anything, but still. I mean,
right.
Look at his last 3 years. 2023, such a fake year. He had a 117 OPS plus. That was all because of September. Last year, he had a 92 OPS plus, and this year he has an 84. His last 5 years in Boston. No, 4 years in Boston. Wait, no, 5 years. Sorry. A 131 OPS plus, a 129 OPS plus, a 128 OPS plus, a 139 OPS plus, and a 135 OPS plus. Now, you could say the Green Monster helped him out there too.
Sure.
You know, doubles off the wall because he had 45 doubles and 52 doubles in seasons with the Red Sox. But look, he is like a complete shell of the player that he was. And if he was making $10 million a year, we wouldn't be harping on it so much, but instead he's making $25 million a year. And oh, by the way, he signed one of the richest contracts in the history of the franchise. So with all that being said, every time that Xander Bogaerts does not come through or doesn't produce or goes 25 plus games without an RBI, criticism is 100% warranted. It's just how it works.
Yeah, I agree completely. Well said. You know how you talked about Adam Silver, how it's been kind of like a tough maybe stretch for Adam Silver at the NBA Finals. And by the way, he said 2 things that were interesting before the start of the finals. One of which is when the owners get together this summer, they will formally discuss expansion for the first time under Silver. Formally.
That'd be Seattle.
Informally. Right. Is it Seattle? Is it Las Vegas?
You know what? It'll probably be Vegas because
How could it not be?
Because the NBA and every league only sees money instead of fans.
They're obsessed with Vegas. Yep.
Everything's obsessed with
the other thing he said is there's no data suggesting the length of the regular season contributes to postseason injuries.
Liar.
So do we think it's the length of the season, or do you think it is the games, play a postseason game, off day, play a postseason game, travel? Like the fact that there's no off days that contributes to the postseason injuries, or is it this 7-month marathon of a season is what's contributing most to the postseason injuries?
I don't think it's the marathon season because you've seen before where guys play 70 games in a season and they're fine.
Yeah, that's the thing.
I think the schedule, this postseason especially, was awful. Awful. Now, like guys like Damian Lillard, and Jason Tatum.
I mean, LeBron got hurt.
LeBron almost got ran into.
Yep, he did.
I think those injuries, I want to say they're kind of fluky because of how it happened. It wasn't like, now Damian Lillard, I think he just made a move, like a normal move, and that's how he blew out his Achilles. Jason Tatum made an awkward move.
Yes, he did.
That's how he blew it out. LeBron got ran into, but guys like Steph and Aaron Gordon hurt their hamstrings on like normal cuts, normal moves. So look, I think it would be best served if in every round you give at least a minimum of 2 days off. Because especially if you're traveling.
I think with the travel, I like that.
minimum 2 days off. You can stack it, right? So there's not these gaps in time where you're going a day or two without any NBA games in the postseason. But you have to give at least at minimum 2 days off in the postseason for every round, and eliminate, because there has been time, eliminate the 5 day off or 4 day off window between games. No less than 2, no more than 3 off days in a postseason for the NBA.
We'll keep the players healthier. What do you think, Brent?
I think it's all coincidence. If you look back a couple of years, was it 2-3 years ago when they eliminated the back-to-backs, when they're like, oh, well, the reason we're getting hurt is because we're playing all these back-to-backs and that's just too much on our body. So they're like, okay, well, we'll get rid of them. You guys won't do load management anymore if we do that too, right? They're like, oh, no, we won't. And then, they still got hurt and they still did load management. So I think it's just a coincidence that, it's a long season and players are just going to get hurt. It just happens that this year and a little bit last year, we just had a lot of big name guys get hurt, opposed to where, if it just would have been, Caruso or somebody that got hurt, nobody would care.
By the way, bad news. Our Texas Tech Red Raiders are down 5-0 in the bottom of the first inning.
That's over. But I mean, whatever. You're not a Mahomes guy.
No, I hate Mahomes.
You know what I mean? So Mahomes is
I hope he suffers more than any athlete that I can think of.
Do you think he's going through it right now?
Probably not.
He might be. So Texas Tech is losing by 5 in the first inning.
It's 5-0.
Oh my god!
Bottom of the first inning.
Well, if you're gonna fall behind, you might as well do it early, which is what they've done.
Well, they only play 6 innings in softball.
I think it's 7, right?
7, 6,
7.
7. Well, they got time.
They got time, but yeah, they're in trouble. All right, call right now if you want a free 4-pack of tickets to see Dierks Bentley. That's right, a free 4-pack of tickets to see Dierks Bentley. What do you got, Brent?
We have a winner, John, for our SDFC tickets.
Oh my gosh,
you moron!
We bury the lead. Can
we get a drum roll for that, please?
Sydney, congratulations! You're going to SDFC's match tomorrow night against Copa America. We were arguing, or not arguing, but we were debating: is this Sydney Sweeney?
Well, it's unlikely since there's a lot of Sydneys.
I'm just kidding.
But it's always possible.
Congratulations, Sydney.
All right, Sydney, thank you. Congratulations. You are going to see SDFC tomorrow night, Snapdragon Stadium right here on San Diego Sports 760. Transitioning to Dierks Bentley. If you want a free 4-pack of tickets, call right now. 877-767-4760. First caller has 4 free tickets to see Dierks Bentley at the North Island Credit Union Amphitheater June 19th. Tickets and info at Ticketmaster.com. Call right now. 877-767-4760 for that free 4-pack of tickets to see Dierks Bentley. Jim's back page coming up next. John and Jim. Final time for the week. John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760. Jim's back page in a moment. Padres trying to take an early lead in Milwaukee tonight, Jim. Threatening in the third with men on the corners and nobody out.
Is that our boy Martin Maldonado? Works like clockwork. I called him out yesterday. Boom.
Dude, hit and run. Look at this hit and run. Look at this hit and run. Boom. Hit, run. Actually, run then
30
hit.
hopper to second.
Yeah, look, perfect. So the Padres have men in the corners, nobody out in the third inning, trying to take an early lead on Milwaukee tonight. Game one of that 3-game series behind Randy Vasquez. We'll have a wrap-up show for you later on tonight as well. What are you laughing
Look at your text. Look at your phone.
Okay.
That's funny.
Okay. Can we can say that.
No,
right?
that's fine.
You just want to do the inside joke for our listeners?
We just got a text message from somebody at the game telling me to
STFU.
Yeah, shove it, Jim, after that Martin Maldonado base hit there.
Yeah.
So
yeah, you take that. Maldonado's he's one for his last one, dude. That's not bad.
That hits all on Schulte, by the way. I call that hit and run.
Schulte's good with his hit and runs, isn't he?
Oh, and then Tatis does that.
Oh, why don't you just do play-by-play?
I will. You want me to do that?
We could have Josh Maurer.
Let's have the FCC call. It's good. It's going to cease and desist. Whatever it's called.
I don't think it's called that. All right.
Fix your camera.
I don't even want to.
You're like frozen like the worst possible.
I'm not going to. That's because it's off.
Oh, no wonder. Idiot.
All right, let's get to it.
So popcorn buckets are like the thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Galactus popcorn bucket that we talked about yesterday.
The huge popcorn bucket you were talking about.
The was it 16, 17 inch
by like 20 inches? Yeah.
Yeah. It's going to be selling for $80.
80? You theorize like, yeah, it's going to be 30, 40 bucks. 80.
Well, it has like an LED like light up in the eyes, and it's literally just a giant thing because Galactus in the movies is giant. He's a celestial being.
And they're selling this out at $80?
$80. I would not buy that for $80.
Brent?
No, I can afford it for $80.
$80?
It is the biggest popcorn container that they've had, though.
You have to have unlimited popcorn for life for $80. A lot of popcorn.
It is
a lot.
You probably get free refills.
But you know what? Now it's turned into like collector's
thing.
item.
Yeah.
Like I forget what movie started this, Brent. I'm going to say Dune. I think Dune might be the first one. Now there's been popcorn buckets for like movies before.
They were one of the ones that,
but I want to say Dune with their popcorn bucket that was made big by Deadpool and Wolverine because it looked, this popcorn bucket looked like a fleshlight. And then
why don't big league teams do it? Like, why don't we have like a swinging fryer popcorn bucket?
That would be
isn't that a good idea?
Mass produce and like make thousands of them
at $80.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Okay, so $80.
$80.
No chance you would consider it.
No chance.
Okay.
But I might consider. Actually, I don't know. The popcorn buckets for Superman.
Mm-hmm.
Now again, these popcorn buckets aren't as cool as the Galactus one, but there's like a light up popcorn bucket. There's a Superman cup with like a cape on it. There's also a Daily Planet popcorn bucket, which is kind of pretty cool. Looks like what you get the newspapers in.
Mm-hmm.
And there's also just like a popcorn bucket with Superman shooting lasers through it.
Wow.
So
maybe one of those.
Maybe one of those. But anyway, the Galactus one is $80.
According to Google, the popcorn bucket craze started in 2019 with the release of Rise of Skywalker. AMC had an R2-D2 popcorn bucket. But then they said it really blew up then with Dune 2 when they had the sandworm bucket.
Because it literally looked like
something you can't say again on air.
That I can't say again on air.
Yes, that product that we can't mention.
What about a John and Jim popcorn bucket?
Okay.
Or you're like eating out of our heads.
You can eat out of the back of Jim's head.
Yes. Thank you, Brent. Boom. We're millionaires. That is genius.
Did you just break something over
No, but I almost did. But I love that.
The bald spot is where you put the hand in. The popcorn.
Incredible.
And it looks like a bald spot because of the popcorn there.
Amazing.
Oh my gosh, I need that.
Genius. $80.
Perfect.
Make it 20 feet tall.
Wait, what else do you have? I have a story for you.
Okay, give me a story because I have some more. But give me
I want to hear yours.
No. Give me a story because the story I have definitely should end the show.
Did you see the Mike Trout Super Bowl bat message trading card?
No, I didn't.
Okay. So he wrote on one of his cards in a Topps set that is coming out soon. He wrote on the card, Eagles 40, Chiefs 22, fly, Eagles fly.
And that was before they won the Super Bowl?
No, after.
Oh, after?
Yeah. So he's written it on his baseball card.
That's
with
cool.
a knob. Did you see it kind of briefly there?
I did.
It's pretty cool, is the point.
So that's now
that's gonna be worth $1 zillion.
It's someone could go get that?
Yeah, because it's a 1 of 1.
Ooh.
Where it says Eagles 40, Chiefs 22, fly, Eagles fly, and it's on like a relic, like a piece of his bat on the card.
That's pretty cool.
Isn't that cool? There's the John back page.
I was over at Jersey Mike's today down the road here.
You told me there was a crazy Pokemon thing going on.
There's a card store, I want to say, over by Jersey Mike's. What's it called? It's called, let's look this up here.
Right by us, there's a card store. I can't believe that. I didn't know that.
It's what's it called? It's called Brute Force Games.
Huh.
It's a game store.
That's in La Mesa, isn't it?
No, it's right down the street.
Maybe there's multiple.
It's probably one in La Mesa too. But there's one down the street here.
Okay.
Off of Murphy Canyon Road.
Okay.
And there was a line out the door around the corner in the parking lot.
Yeah, he sent me the picture. It looked crazy.
And I asked when I went to Jersey Mike's, shout out Jersey Mike's, what was the line for? She said it was for Pokemon cards. I'm like, what? Like, dude, the card, Pokemon card right now, it's like
craze.
It's going up.
I know.
And there's really no dip in sight.
No. I mean, I can't get into Pokemon. You can, but I respect it because I see like the fandom for it.
I'm into like singular cards. I don't know if I can get into pack pulling again because then I'm going to get hooked and then I'm going to spend money on like packs and have all these cards that I just don't want when I'm only looking for one card when I should have just went out and bought that one card for how much money I spent on all these packs.
Keep the cards. And then if you end up having children, give it to them.
Well, we'll find out soon if I can have children.
You can. Okay. That's true.
Finally.
Stay tuned on the other side of this break.
This is a great way to end the show.
Okay.
With Sydney Sweeney.
Oh, really?
We all know about the Sydney Sweeney Bathwater Bliss soap.
Yeah.
That retailed for just $8. Well, once it went on sale, it sold out immediately. Like within seconds.
Of course.
People are now taking this soap and reselling it for guess how much?
80.
Try 200.
Try $250 per bar of
soap.
Per bar of soap.
Why were they selling it for only $8?
It's selling for as much as $300.
Are you the bidder at 300 right now?
I'm actually at 275.
You're 275.
Aaron will understand.
$300 for a bar of soap that theoretically is from the bathwater of Sydney Sweeney, correct?
A drop of her bathwater. A drop. Just one drop in the bar of soap, which just evaporates in 2 seconds.
Would you keep the soap if you had the bar?
Probably.
Might have helped today during my just no.
When you were over at your fertility clinic.
Yeah.
You've had some interesting comments to end John and Jim the last 2 days.
Yes, I have.
If you think about it. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, good job at the back page, man.
Thank you.
Good job today overall. It was a big day for you.
It was a big day for me, yeah.
You were able to do both the fertility clinic and John and Jim today.
It's a tough day. I was a little tired getting to work.
Man, good job.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're going to be back Monday recapping Padres and Brewers. And guess what Monday? Guess what Monday is?
It's Monday.
The Padres play.
They also play a baseball team. You know
at home.
You know who they play at home?
I don't know who they play. We'll talk about it Monday.
I forget who they play. Oh, is it the Dodgers?
No.
No.
It's not. It's not the Dodgers. It's Kansas City.
Is it the Rockies?
Yes, the Rockies. No, it's the Dodgers. Monday. We'll get you ready. Beginning at 2 p.m. Wrap-up show tonight. Join us on YouTube. Padres leading the Brewers in the third inning, 1-0. If you missed anything today, go to sportssd.com or the iHeartRadio app or iTunes, TuneIn Radio or Spotify. If you're listening to us on podcast, please leave a review as well. Back Monday. Enjoy the evening. For Brent and Jim, I'm John. Keep it here. This is San Diego Sports 760.
Okay.
Bye-bye.